The Green and Gold's journey to the Bronx was a successful one. 2 wins in comeback fashion had Bob Melvin and the boys attempting for a third. But yesterday they just missed out by a few inches as they failed to get a Yankee sweep. Tonight the Athletics travel south to Baltimore to take on the high-octane offense of the Orioles. 1 through 9 of the Orioles lineup can cause havoc, and Camden Yards has not been especially kind to the A's as of late. It'll be a tough series against a tough team. A's, O's, next. It is stop 2 of this 3-city trip for the Athletics. We are at Orioles Park at Camden Yards on a beautiful night for baseball on the East Coast. Wei-Yin Chen's going to pitch for the Orioles and Tommy Malone for the A's. So a couple of left-handers squaring off in Game 1 of this 3-game series. So it's the A's and it's the Orioles, and it's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. Hey again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fossey, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, playing the Orioles here at Camden Yards is never an easy task, Ray. It's a hitter's park, and they have a lot of hitters. No different this year. Nelson Cruz is leading the way.
And you said it best. A hitter's park. You put a hitter in a hitter's park. Remember, he played for the Rangers in Arlington. We thought that was a hitter's park. He's in a better one here in Baltimore, playing his 81 home games. He was a late sign by the Orioles because of a draft choice. All the things that maybe transpired last year, but he's done a remarkable job for the Orioles with the 21 home runs. The RBIs leading everybody in those categories, but he's DHing. He's playing every day. And in this park, I think we've seen over the years, it's a great hitter's park. Who better to have in your lineup? A guy can go line to line with home runs. Maybe in Arlington, just to right field, occasionally left field. He can hit any place here, and he's having a great year.
Yeah, spring training had started when he signed his 1-year contract with the Orioles. So 2 teams that are playing good baseball. The A's have won 5 out of 6. The Orioles have won 4 out of 5. So we're looking forward to a good weekend of baseball here in Baltimore. We are at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Game 1 of the series coming up. We'll have lineups and first pitch in just a moment.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a nice night and a good crowd here at Orioles Park at Camden Yards. Crowd coming in on a Friday night. And the Orioles are back home after a long road trip. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 75 degrees and really hardly any humidity, which, well, we've seen enough humidity in this ballpark over the years, but that is not the case tonight. It's a very, very comfortable evening. Nice breeze as we are moments away from getting this baseball game underway. Here's the lineup tonight for the Athletics. It starts with Craig Gentry. He'll be in center field. And then Lowry will be at short, Donaldson at third, Cespedes in left. Norris will catch. Moss will play right field. Callaspo will be the designated hitter. Kyle Blanks is at first. Nick Punto is at second.
Left-hander Wei-Yin Chen on the mound for the Orioles. He's very familiar with him as he is perfect against the Athletics in his career, as they have yet to beat him, but he's not overpowering with any of his pitches. Fastball low 90s, but he changed his speed quite well. One thing Chili Davis had said, if he tries to get the ball up a little bit as Chen tries to elevate his pitches at time to get the outs. But this is a rematch, April 26th last year, in which Tommy Milone and Chen went against each other, and the Orioles scoring a couple of runs late, an unearned run off Tommy Milone, and the A's lost the game 3-0.
Let's check out the defense for the Orioles. And it's a good defense. Steve Pearce is in left. Adam Jones in center. Nick Markakis in right. Machado, Hardy, Scope, Davis around the infield. And Nick Hundley is the catcher. Statistically, it's the best defense in the American League. They've made the
forget about last night.
Yeah, exactly.
J.J. Hardy would like to forget about last night. 3 errors in one game for the best fielding shortstop of maybe a lot of teams.
You know, and I saw where he's only had one other multi-error game in his career.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-error game, so he's ready to bounce back. Buck Showalter and the Orioles. And the first pitch of the ball game is low to Craig Gentry. The Orioles got home last night, we are told, or landed here in Baltimore at 5 a.m. after a night game in Arlington.
Night game in Arlington that usually takes forever to play them anyway.
Of course.
And then you have the time change and the long flight, and of course just getting out of the Metroplex. But they didn't do anything except show up today. It's Ubaldo Jimenez who will pitch on Sunday, the series finale. But the Orioles had a late show up, and usually sometimes that's not good for the team they're playing because you kind of play on fumes because you're so tired. Chris Davis is maybe not having the type of year he had last year, but who would expect it? He was off the charts last year, but still a good player for the Orioles. They have a good team, but they're in a very, very tough division, especially the way the Blue Jays are playing now.
2-1 pitch is a strike at the knees. So now the count 2-2 to Gentry from Wei-Yin Chen, 28-year-old left-hander. Gentry taps it foul. And Chen has been like Cy Young against the Athletics. So that is the task at hand for the A's, going up against a left-hander who has pitched extremely well against the A's. This is his 4th start against the Athletics in his career. Half swing, and Gentry stays alive. Chen is 3-0 with a 0.44 ERA, and look at the opponent's batting average, 151.
He's got one home run in 3 years, or 3 starts, and that guy's not with the A's any longer. He's in Boston.
Hit hard up the middle. Hardy ranging a long ways to his left, and they got the speedy Gentry, and Gentry comes up limping just a little bit. He may have hit the bag kind of funny. He's got a little hiccup in his jog as he heads back. What a play by Hardy.
Well, the ball was hit hard. Looked like the grass might have slowed it down just enough for Hardy to range to his left to get to the ball. Looked like it's going to be up the middle, but Hardy, with a bad night last night in Arlington, comes up probably saying the first one be hit to me, especially with the speed of Gentry, and the jump right there probably hit the bag. Maybe his left ankle. Watch the left foot hit the bag hard, and watch there. That's probably why he came up limping a little bit.
So 1 out, and Lowry steps in, so let's hope Gentry's okay. So Hardy makes a very nice play on the first batter of the game. He may not have thought that would happen, Hardy, but he's probably glad that it did.
Yeah.
Lowry hitting .245 with 4 home runs and 24 runs batted in, and he fouls it straight back. So this was the night for J.J. Hardy, a game that the Orioles lost.
This one he spiked in the dirt, didn't have a particularly great grip. Chris Davis couldn't come up with it, but you know, probably the biggest when they had the infield in, this one, and infield in, and just missed it, and that allowed a run to score, and they ended up adding a couple more.
He's got 2 Gold Gloves, right?
I know he does. And the Orioles defense in general, I mean, left side with Machado at third, and just an outstanding defense all the way around.
So just a blip on the screen for this Orioles defense.
You see that? Made 3 errors in a month.
In a month, yeah. Lowry shoots one foul.
Well, one of the strangest things about watching Chen pitch, and he's not pitching to Matt Wieters. Wieters on the disabled list with a right elbow problem that they're trying to hope to avoid Tommy John surgery. But they've shut him down. He's just started to play catch again. They shut him down for a couple of weeks without any baseball activities.
Fastball, a little up, and Lowry swings and misses, and that's the second out.
And that's the pitch Chili Davis said you try to avoid swinging at. Gentry did, hit it hard. Jed Lowry swung and missed. Look at the location. This is a Sean Doolittle type fastball, and once it's up in the zone like that, it's very difficult to catch up, make any solid contact. You have a tendency to kind of get on top of a high fastball. Can't do it. If you hit it, you get under it. Fastball. That's him, and just tries to spot it.
Yeah, he's really, and the times we've seen him, he's been great. He's really just in and out.
Yeah, that's it.
Inside corner, outside corner, and then occasionally he'll go with something off speed. That one's hit to right field. That's hit well. Markakis going back. He's at the wall, and that baby's gone. Donaldson to right center, and the A's lead 1-0. So Donaldson gets the A's on the board here in the first inning with a 2-out solo home run.
I guess that's how you handle a high fastball. And boy, have we seen Josh Donaldson do this. It started in Toronto. He's done it at the Coliseum. He did it in New York. And remember yesterday, he was the one who attempted to bunt. First and second, nobody out. And there's the high fastball. Got under it, but drove it. He has tremendous power to all fields. And he puts everything into the swing. The guys on the bench looking up as it traveled up and over the fence in right field, right center field. Cap, as we talk, this is Hitters Park, and I think that's a perfect example right there.
So home run number 17 for Donaldson. And the A's have now homered in 14 consecutive games. And 24 home runs total in those 14 games. So that has been a big part of their offense really all year, but even more so lately.
Cap, remember yesterday we were watching Josh Donaldson and shocked that he could not make contact on hanging sliders, and then attempted to bunt with first and second, nobody out, on his own. He said, I was sick. He said, I had serious problems. I was just not seeing the ball, and I think it was pretty noticeable that he could not see it, but he had some issues with his stomach, and I don't really want to go into graphic details, but he was not feeling very good at all, and I think it, as he said, it affected him overall. And there are the opposite field home runs. That's unbelievable for Josh Donaldson.
Cespedes strikes out, but the A's are on the board thanks to Donaldson's 17th home run of the year. This one to right center here at Camden Yards. So after a half an inning, it's the A's 1 and the Orioles coming to bat. Padres have an early 1-0 lead here in Baltimore. Well, let's look at the lineup for the Orioles. Starts with Nick Markakis having a good year, hitting .306. Then Machado, Cruz, Jones, Davis, Hardy, Pierce, Scope, and Hundley. Here's your Orioles lineup.
Tommy Milone gets the start tonight. He's first on this road trip, and he's facing the Orioles team, as we mentioned last April the 26th, the rematch. And Tommy already, before he takes the bat, has more runs on the board than he had last year, as the Orioles shut out Milone and the Athletics 3-0. But as we've talked, he's got his record back to 3-3, but still not a lot of run support. Sometimes the defense is not where it should be, so maybe tonight all that will change, especially with a run on the board in the first inning.
So Markakis steps in. Tommy Milone looking for win number 4 on the year, and the first pitch is tapped foul. Markakis hitting .306 with 5 home runs and 23 RBIs. Orioles come in with a 30-28 record, and they're 5.5 games behind those red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays have won 14 out of their last 16 games, Ray, and they're starting to open up a little bit of a lead in that AL East.
That's called playing with confidence.
Oh boy. There's a drive, left center field. Gentry on the move. Gentry dives, and he caught it. What a play by Gentry.
Wow. Boy, did it against Brett Gardner in New York in the second game, and what a play. And boy, let's not forget what the defense did for Tommy Milone in his last start. And Gentry right out of the gate does it, lays on his back, and may have hit hard, maybe jammed his right knee into the ground, but he laid on his back, holding the ball up high, and maybe just thankful that he was able to catch it. And man, he has made unbelievable plays on this road trip already. So his foot or his ankle, something must be okay what he jammed in the back, because the jump he got on that ball. And Cap, we talk about can someone outrun a baseball? I think Gentry can, the way he plays. This was Wednesday against Brett Gardner in left center. Watch this play as he goes, and Gentry's maybe a triple, maybe inside the park home run out of nowhere, diving, hit the warning track, came up with it, and what a tremendous play. And that was the first inning, as this one was with Markakis.
Quick 0-2 to Manny Machado.
Okay, how about Saturday night when Tommy Milone gave up 4 hits in the second, didn't give up a run?
Yep. With 2 thrown out at the plate by Yoenis Cespedes, and now these defensive play. Yeah, that was a crazy game against the Angels. Milone left that game trailing 3-1, and he pitched fairly well after a little bit of a rocky start. But that's when the A's scored 6 times in the 7th, 4 times in the 8th, and won the game 11-3.
I think he's just happy to get a no decision.
And the changeup, a good one, and that's a strikeout of Machado. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Nelson Cruz. Quick look at the A's defense for tonight. Cespedes, Gentry, Moss in the outfield. Donaldson, Lowry, Punto, Blanks on the infield, and Norris is your catcher. So Nelson Cruz steps in. Talked about Cruz in the open of our show with his 21 home runs and 55 RBIs, leading the major leagues in both those categories. So right now the Orioles are looking pretty smart. A 1-year, $8 million deal to get Cruz to come to Baltimore when he was out there for the taking.
He did not do what Stephen Drew has done and just recently signed with the Red Sox. Cruz took what he could get, and really coming to a park like this on a 1-year deal, put up the numbers, which he's already done. Who knows how much that's going to help him in the future to get a contract that he expected to get coming into this year.
So now 3-0 to Cruz. Cruz will be 34 in July. So he's not a young player anymore, but clearly he can still hit. 3-1 pitch. And he puts that one right off the end of the bat to the backstop.
Tommy Milwaukee evidently has developed a new cut fastball at 85. This board, one of the first to ever put the actual, not only the pitch speed, but the type of pitch that's thrown.
Cruz fouled it back, a changeup.
And when Steve Carsey pitched for the Athletics in that board in left field, showing the velocity in the pitches. Remember the Orioles players, every player would get in the on-deck circle and watch that because they'd never seen Carsey before.
And he was throwing hard too.
Yes, he was. And they wanted to see the velocity. Remember Robbie Alomar was playing for the Orioles at that time, and it really helped them approach Carsey because they hadn't seen it.
Shallow center. Gentry in. And he's got it side retired. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Malone with a little help from Gentry. So 1-0 A's after 1. McDonald's, July 29th of 2012. That's Wei-Yin Chen against the A's. He struck out 12 Athletics that day, and he did it just 5 2/3 innings. Gave up 3 hits, a run, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. He left in the 6th inning, but he did plenty of damage through 5 2/3, and that's our McDonald's true story. It's one of the 3 great starts that Chen has had against the A's in his career.
And he surpassed Cheng-Ming Wang, who had struck out 10 Athletics as a Taiwanese-born pitcher. But Chen, you could see him in those highlights, elevating his fastball, very difficult to catch up, and just in and out with the fastball, as we mentioned earlier.
First pitch to Norris is a strike. Chen last year spent a couple months on the disabled list, and he ended up making 23 starts. This is his 3rd year with the Orioles. And they have a club option for next year on Chen, which you would think that they would probably pick up if he stays healthy.
By the way, pitchers being a premium as they are, that would be probably a very good call on their part.
Fastball outside, 1-2 to Norris. He'll be followed by Moss and Callaspo here in the 2nd inning. And in Taiwan, got a big guy, 6 foot, 195 pounds. Pretty good pitcher, going for his 7th win. He's had good run support this year. In fact, he leads the American League in run support. 7.5 runs per game when he's on the mound.
Probably only needs 4.
Yep.
Pretty good, but 7.5. Makes it a little bit easier for him.
Slider, and now it's 3-2. Well, not only highest in the American League, highest in the majors is his run support this year. Norris drills one to left. That's hit well. Pierce is at the wall, and that baby's gone. Another home run for the A's, and it's 2-0.
Well, we talk so much about the hitter getting the count in his favor, and especially for a pitcher, as we have detailed, who likes to throw the fastball. Gets to 3-2. Fastball down the middle. Derek Norris, almost the identical swings he had against Gio Gonzalez when he hit back-to-back 3-run home runs against the Nationals at the Coliseum. So Tommy Milone, a couple of hits on his side, 2 home runs. He has a 2-0 lead, and Derek Norris with number 6 on the season.
Here's Moss up and in.
That was almost like hitting a 3-0 fastball because it was right down the middle. Derek Norris didn't come out of his shoes to make the swing, just a nice easy swing and hit it out.
Now 2-0 to Moss. So 2 more to that total. Now 25 home runs in the last 14 games and 74 on the year. Broken bat hit slowly, and Moss is going to get a hit. The bat went further than the ball, and the bat did a pretty good job of helping Moss get a home run. So that's a good bat right there.
And then that's how you beat the shift. Wow. That's a great call because that ball went nowhere. Look where the second baseman, I think, is playing. And it shortstop has to come over, but boy, was that bat shattered. Handled the hand. It's amazing, got out of the box as quick as it did. And that's like a swinging bunt, and nobody could get to it to even make a play. That's a strong, strong hitter to be able to do that.
So Callaspo, a line drive to Scope, back to first, double play. So that was quick. So Moss is doubled off, and now there are 2 outs.
Well, a nice swing by Derek Norris. Just check this out. Fastball down where he likes it. Chin outside corner. And Derek Norris, man, if you don't know one's gone when you hit one like that, you're never going to know. Nice swing, left center, and Pierce running out of room. But there's your line drive that, Fenway Park, that's off the wall. You may have a single.
Oh, that is not a home run.
Yeah, here with a short wall. I mean, you can rob hitters if you can get back the wall, and it's not really one that carries over the fence that much, but except in right field. But look how short the fence is all the way around, with the exception of the out-of-town scoreboard in right field.
So a quick 0-2 to Kyle Blanks. Blanks 348 with a couple of home runs. Fastball just a touch inside. So Blanks hitting in the A spot, playing first base tonight. So Donaldson a home run in the first, and Norris a home run here in the second. Blanks rolls one toward third, backhanded by Machado. Guns it across in time. Side retired. Derek Norris, home run number 6 on the year, and we're headed to the bottom of the second with the A's leading 2-0.
Hey, how about this? Already the A's have done it. Get the Chen early. They've gotten him early. 2 home runs in the first 2 innings, 1 each. And for Tommy Milone, away from home, of course, he pitches very well at the Coliseum. Not that he doesn't pitch well on the road, but tonight he's getting great defensive support already by Craig Gentry. A couple of home runs. He has the lead. And pitching his 2nd inning after a great play by Gentry, strikeout, and a fly ball by Cruz on a brilliant changeup on 3-2 to get the power hitter to hit the ball straight up in the air.
So Tommy Milone, a shutdown opportunity, and he's been perfect. That's pretty good.
Yes, it is.
Team gets you a run or two, get the heck back in the dugout. Right? He'll face Jones, Davis, and Hardy here in the bottom of the 2nd.
Got to have Jesse Chavez against the Yankees Wednesday. And a 7-pitch 5th inning, 7 strikes, back in the dugout. All of a sudden the A's start scoring runs.
Jones fouls it straight back.
Jesse picked up a win in his last start, 6 innings. Yankees, thanks to Josh Donaldson, a solo home run off Ramirez. The rookie making his major league debut took a loss in his first start. Jesse picking up the win.
1-1 to Jones. What's this Orioles lineup without Matt Wieters, as Ray mentioned? There's that start in New York, and the A's came back. The Orioles on the year 6th in the American League in runs scored and 5th in home runs hit. And remember last year, Ray, they hit a total of 212 home runs, the most in the majors, and they had 24 more home runs hit than any other team in the American League. Not hitting them like they did last year because Chris Davis is really not having a great year. Lined into the glove of Lowry, who reaches down and grabs it.
Well, we're going to talk about a guy. We talked about him having 3 errors in a game, but how about for J.J. Hart not hitting a home run yet?
That's right.
He hasn't hit one since last, September or August, September. It's been a while, but this season, the Orioles is tied for 6th. Guy mentioned that. 62 home runs, tied for 5th. Make it seem like Chris Davis had that many by himself this time of the year last year.
53 last year total for Chris Davis. And this year he's got 8. Rolls this one foul.
Well, it's amazing with the scheduling the way it is. The A's seeing the Orioles for the first time in early June. We'll see them a little bit later at the Coliseum, and won't see them anymore. So the Yankees, the last 3 games, Yankees started a 10-game road trip, finishing with the A's on Father's Day weekend. A's will be finished with the Yankees. Hence the scheduling where you're seeing the Central and the East from the athletic standpoint, home and away, and that's it.
Well, the Orioles will come to the Coliseum July 18th, 19th, and 20th.
That would be the '89 reunion, right?
That's right.
I think it's that weekend.
Right after the All-Star.
That's right.
0-2 pitch, high fastball. Well, the Orioles, interesting, Ray, they have played the fewest home games in the major leagues. So they got a bunch coming up now, and maybe they can make a move on those Blue Jays as they trail by 5.5 games. Backhanded, Blanks going to have to hustle to the bag, and he will get there. But this is just their 24th home game of the year. They've played 35 road games, but this is the start of a 10-game homestand for the Orioles, and it's also the start of 20 home games in their next 26 games. So it's all going to turn at some point, but
and even out.
And it will even out. Yes, it will.
But we were just in New York, and it seemed like they were saying the same thing. So many road games. So maybe the 2 teams in the East. Of course, we know the A's with 5 3-city trips to start this 2014 season, and this being the 4th of those 5.
It's going to even out.
Boy, it seems like it always does every year. Like 81 home, 81 on the road. It's just a matter of how you play them.
That's right.
But remember one time J.J. Hardy was leading off for the Orioles, hitting so many first-inning home runs. Signed a multi-year contract, Gold Glove shortstop, and now you see a 0 on the home run column. Very, very strange to see that.
His last 3 years home run total is 30, 22, and last year 25. So I mean, he's a legitimate power hitter.
And if he hits one in this series, we're simply stating the facts. It's not like we're going to control whether he gets one or not.
Oh, what a play! Donaldson throws and did not quite get him on the tag. But a sensational play down at third by Donaldson.
That's extra bases. And for Hardy, who has been struggling a bit, if Donaldson had made the accurate throw, he would have thrown him out. That's how hard and how quickly Donaldson got the ball over there. What a great play, first of all, to catch it, and then just pulled blanks off the bag. But look at this. Watch what happens after he catches it. Catches it, pops up quickly like a pop-up slide, and knew he's going to have to air it out, which he did. But there's a case of on the bag, he's out, and a remarkable play. That in itself just to save a double.
So it will be a hit for Hardy. That's his. But that's the Orioles' first hit tonight. Here's Steve Pearce, the left fielder. First pitch is a strike. Pearce 289 with 4 home runs. There's a shot to center, and that's a base hit. So Pearce has a hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles, and this will bring up Jonathan Scoop.
Fastball after curveball, and fastball down the middle. Curveball was a good one, and a lot of times we have seen Derek Norris with all the A's pitchers when he is caught. Same with John Jaso, as was the case with Scott Kazmir, throwing back-to-back change-ups, curveballs, and maybe that's something to learn after throwing a fastball to Pearce after the good curveball.
So here's the rookie second baseman, Jonathan Scoop. I said Scoop, I meant Scope. But Scope's been one of the Orioles' higher prospects the last couple of years, and he got to the big leagues last September. Well, Brian Roberts gone, and there's an opening at second base for the Orioles, and Scope has grabbed it. He's getting a chance to play pretty much every day. And that one at the feet of Norris. He scrambles around and finally finds it.
Now, if you saw S-C-H-O-O-P, wouldn't you say just shoot?
Yep.
Derek Norris with the ball in the dirt just off the tip of his catcher's mitt, and it hit the home plate umpire as it went through. It did hit his left foot, kept it close to him. But if you're a runner on the bases, you may think he's deking me. He knows where the ball is, and he's going to spin around waiting for me to go and throw me out. So fortunately, the runners did not advance.
Scope with a line drive, and that's a base hit to right center field. That's going to get a run home. Pearce is going to go to third, and a 2-out rally. The Orioles have scored here in the bottom of the second. So pretty good job of hitting by Jonathan Scope, the rookie.
Yeah, it's a good changeup and not a bad pitch selection. However, sometimes when you're facing hitters or hitters are facing pitchers they don't know, you don't fool them as badly. You take an aggressive hitter and watch as he strides, keeps the bat back and just lofts it out into right center on a pretty good changeup down by Tommy Malone. And with 2 outs, everybody moving.
So Scope gets his 18th RBI of the year. And here's the catcher, Nick Hundley. This is the Nick Hundley that was with the Padres for quite a while, but the Orioles acquired him on the 24th of May this year with Wieters going down. And the first pitch is a strike. Hundley had a pretty good year last year. He had 13 home runs in 114 games for the Padres.
Well, not surprising when Matt Wieters went down, the Orioles were desperate because they wanted to stay in the division hunt. They knew they needed a catcher to be able to put back every day. Nobody could match what Matt Wieters has done for them.
And it sounds like Wieters is getting closer. There's still no exact date when he's going to come back. He's dealing with a right elbow issue, which you certainly have to be careful with. But
yeah, I talked to Dan Duquette, the general manager, and asked him, and he said he is starting a throwing program. It almost sounds like they're trying to do their best to avoid what would be possibly a Tommy John surgery. And if that's the case, they know that's going to be an extensive period of time. As the A's know, with a couple of pitchers already, and one has returned, one Eric O'Flaherty about to return.
Strike, and it's 1-2.
But you know, the interesting thing, there are times, Cap, is that hitter extends his arm, Wieters doesn't feel it. Because sometimes when you miss a ball, you'll feel it the most. And there is the general manager, or executive VP baseball operation, Dan Duquette, formerly of the Red Sox, and now with the Orioles. But Dan Duquette said it didn't affect him swinging, but they decided to shut him down because they want him to be able to catch. They could put him as a DH if it doesn't bother him, but they definitely want him behind the plate.
Outside, and now 2-2 to Hundley. Well, you put Wieters back in this lineup with the first 6 guys, and then Wieters. That's a pretty good lineup.
You know, and sadly too, one of the things came up that it might have been an injury that occurred even before he signed, like when he pitched, you know, some time ago. Yeah. But you know, sometimes they do come back.
Hundley checks his swing, and they're going to say he went around. Wow, how about that?
That's our boy Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez rings up Hundley, and everybody's kind of standing around. They can't believe it, but that is the end of the inning. A run on 3 hits for the Orioles, so we're headed to the third. It's the A's 2, and it's the Orioles 1.
It's a swing. And this is what Angel Hernandez saw. Did you see it there? Then kind of a late call to first base, and finally the appeal. But this is what Angel Hernandez saw, and that's a swing. He went through, kind of kept the bat on his shoulder a little bit, but the bat head went through, and Angel Hernandez made the call. And probably in that case, Derek Norris, was that a freeze frame? Derek Norris in the future, you know, you see catchers immediately, anytime there's any possibility of a check swing, point.
Yep,
you know, and you have to do it because you might get a call when normally you would not. But Derek took his time. He was actually holding it for the home plate umpire, maybe not realizing the check swing. But Angel actually had the right call.
Nick Punto leading it off for the A's here in the third. He'll be followed by Gentry and Lowry. Donaldson a homer in the first, Norris a homer in the second, and that's how the A's scored their 2 runs so far. One and one now to Nick Punto. was reading an interesting article, Ray, about the Dodgers. The Dodgers scuffling, right?
Yes, they are big time.
Kind of get it going. But basically the same lineup, a lot of the same players. But the article had to do with 3 guys that they don't have this year. Mark Ellis,
That's right.
Skip Schumacher, and Nick Punto.
That's right.
And as I read it and started thinking about it, it started to make sense because they still have the star players, no question, a very talented group. But the point is they just don't have those intangible guys, and maybe the leadership quality that those guys had. And if you think about the 3 guys you're talking about, statistically they may not have done a huge amount for the Dodgers, but there has to be something there.
You said the key word, leadership. I mean, all 3 of them. That's why Nick Punto, A's have to be ecstatic to have him and why he wanted to come here.
And you know Mark Ellis, you know how he operates.
Absolutely. Schumacher, a veteran, and they do offer that intangible and kind of mold together the veterans. But what was it, the Dodgers this time last year were 9 out and they went on that 42-8 run, but you can't guarantee those are once in a lifetime type runs. But
that's something you just can't. It's not on the back of a baseball card.
No, absolutely. But it proves one thing also, that you can have all the money in the world to spend on talent. Doesn't mean you're going to win. It's not a lock to win. And when you go into a season pretty much expecting not only to get to postseason but to win the World Series, that's a lot of pressure to put on a club and manager, staff, and it's just that it's a game of human beings playing, and not all are always going to come through at a time when you hope to and expect them to.
And maybe in baseball where you play 162 games and you fail a lot, maybe that's where some leadership guys become more important than in other sports.
That's right.
Possible. Happy fan, happy Oriole fan. He's got a Craig Gentry foul ball. Somebody's going to get another one.
The way A's fouls off pitches, there's a few that go in the stands, and Mikey Falvin usually rubs up the baseballs at the Coliseum. Matt Weiss, the guys will rub up the baseballs, but I don't think they can ever rub up enough for a game.
And there's a base hit to center field by Gentry. Shoots it right past Jim.
Bob Melvin and the A's will get together for the second A's Community Fund Bowling Bash, presented by Chevron and Lagunitas, and supported by Crystal Clear Imaging and Scharf Investments. The bash takes place Saturday, June 21st at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. Proceeds benefit the A's Community Fund. I wonder if anybody can bowl as great as the late Earl Anthony. Left-handed bowler.
Lefty, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Good man. Had a chance to meet him one time.
Did you?
Yeah. Class man. And the Dublin, the bowl right in Danville too.
Danville Bowl,
yeah.
Sure. Bit outside to Lowry.
See Larry Vanover that time came up to kind of move to the right, and didn't put up the arm there. You have to feel a little bit badly for umpires at home plate, because if they're graded on every pitch that is, whether it's a ball or strike or however they call it, you can see where there's some hesitancy about, what is it, a strike or not? Do I call it? That obviously was out of the strike zone, but those close ones, you have to wonder sometimes.
Two 2-0 to Lowry, who struck out swinging in the first inning. Donaldson to follow here in the third inning. Drive to center. Jones to his right and back, and he's got it. See some good center field play in this series with Gentry and Coco Crisp, and for the Orioles, Adam Jones is very good. This is one of those ballparks too, at least left field, center field, and toward right field until you get to the big high wall and right. Just can take home runs away.
Oh,
they go up over the wall here. That wall in right field, though, is 25 feet high where the out-of-town scoreboard is, so not going to happen there, but it will happen in the other spots in this ballpark.
Still say that left center field area says 364 just to the left of the advertising sign.
You're not buying it, are you?
Nope, never have. One Hall of Famer who set a record nobody will ever break. 2,632 consecutive games. Cal Ripken Jr. always hit home runs in that same area. I don't know why. But why not? And that's all the more reason why when they built Target Field, Joe Mauer hit a ton of home runs at the Metrodome to the opposite field. He needed a cannon to hit one out to left field at Target Field. So if you're going to build a new stadium, hit it for your main player. And I think they did it here with regard to the fences. It's helped a lot of teams.
Runner goes, pitches a ball, throw to second base, and it's not in time. The ball scoots away from Scope, but Gentry had it stolen either way.
Sometimes it's easy against a left-handed pitcher, sometimes it's not. 2-0 pitch. Gentry went on first move. Strong throw by the catcher Hunlin. And Scope actually doing a good job as he straddled. Then see the shift was on and he straddled the back, quick tag, but maybe the slide by Gentry aggressively knocked it out of his glove.
3-0 to Donaldson, swinging away, and he missed it. 3-1.
Change up 3-0, thinking that Donaldson's going to swing, hit the fastball like this, and Donaldson knew it was gone. Right center, 373 mark over the Orioles bullpen. So he gets a changeup on 3-0, and not a bad idea, especially with first base open for Chen to pitch to Donaldson.
Good swing on 3-1, and hits a high pop-up foul into the seats. So full count with Gentry at second base. Donaldson trying to knock him home. He's got 50 RBIs now. And this is game number 61 for the A's. Last year, Donaldson knocked in 93 runs in 158 games. So way ahead of that pace this year. Three and two, and here it comes, and it's driven to center, and that's hit a ton. Jones on the move, Jones on the move, and right in front of the wall, he makes the catch. So the ballpark got big right there, right near the 410-foot side, and it's a long out, and the A's do not score. middle of the Major League Baseball draft, and this is who they picked with their first 2 selections. Matt Chapman, a third baseman from Cal State Fullerton, with the 25th overall pick. And then in the second round, it was Daniel Gossett, a right-handed pitcher from Clemson University. And those were the 2 picks that were made yesterday. Today, I believe it was rounds 3 through 10. And he's picked a whole bunch of more players. It's the way it goes with the MLB draft. But big day for a lot of youngsters. And Ray, you were there last night for the televised part of it on the MLB Network. And tell me how it was. You got to see the MLB studios?
The studios are fantastic. We get a chance to see them. And, of course, when they do everything, the quick pitch, all the different things. And after the first round, I got a tour in the back to see the production area. And it's a 24/7 operation. There are people there all the time because if something newsworthy happens, they want to report it. And a lot of people working there, but it's done very professionally. And the studio itself, where all the guys are, and they have the field set up. And in fact, they had tables set up where the field is, and the Studio 42. And there was 1 table per club, representatives from each club at the table, and the telephone had A's right on top of it.
That's good.
Right on top. Had the sheet that once the selection was made, Commissioner Siegler got the information, made the announcement.
Donaldson comes hustling in right near the mound, and he's got it for out number 1. The top 10 picks in the draft, it started with the Astros. They took a high school left-handed pitcher by the name of Brady Aiken. Another high school pitcher, Tyler Kolek, to the Marlins. You see Nick Gordon's name on there. His dad, of course, was Tom Gordon, and his brother Dee plays for the Dodgers. The Mariners were thrilled to get Alex Jackson, a high school catcher who it sounds like they're going to move him to the outfield. See Jeff Hoffman's name on there at number 9. Now, was he the pitcher that had Tommy John surgery?
There was one who was just coming off. Actually, there were 2, but one of them for sure was drafted high.
Welcome to 2014.
Right.
But I mean, the team, he's already had it and he's recovering from it.
And Nick Gordon was there last night, and once he was selected, and very excited. Of course, Tom Flash Gordon, his father, with the 2 sons that you mentioned.
Well, each team is represented by 1 or 2 former players, and you represented the A's, but it looked like there was Tommy Lasorda was there, and there was a Mike Piazza. Looked like it was a pretty good group. It was Jeffrey Leonard from the Giants was there.
Yeah, he and Tony Siegel, the Giants, and Frank Viola, of course, the first ever Cy Young Award winner who's traded.
After he won the Cy Young.
After he won the Cy Young Award. He was the first, and now it's 4 or 5, but he and Piazza represented the Mets.
I saw Pudge Rodriguez was there, and Jim Sundberg.
Carly Perez and Andre Dawson with the Miami Marlins. Charles Nagy, Cleveland.
So you got to talk baseball with some good people. The draft will conclude tomorrow. And then you got to sign all your players, and you got to send them to their minor league city. So it's a busy week to 2 weeks for the organizations and the youngsters.
Yeah, because once they're drafted, that's just the beginning. Now you have to convince them to sign.
Cruz with a big swing.
And got that list, the top 10 that said HS beside him. Every one of those kids are committed to play college baseball. So they have bargaining power because they can say, hey, if I don't sign, I'll go to college. And there are some number 1 choices this year who were drafted a couple of years ago, went to a 4-year school, and as a freshman are out of high school and decided to go to college, had to wait 3 years, and now they end up signing. But the young left-hander, the Aiken, who was picked by the Astros, and they say he's way beyond any high school pitcher and project him to be in the big leagues sooner than later, much quicker. Unlike is it Taylor? What was his first name? Was drafted by the Yankees.
Ryan Taylor.
Right, the last left-handed pitcher drafted overall as the top pitcher, top player. And he didn't get above Double-A. But it was good. But I would think all those players now looking at these players, watching TV, watching games, and saying, "Wow, I just got drafted, and now I want to be like those guys." So,
sure.
That's what it's all about, to get a chance to put on a professional uniform and try to get to this level.
Cruz takes a very close pitch, called the ball, and now it's 3-1 with Machado at first. So Malone's got to be careful here.
Throw him a 3-2 changeup. Matter of fact, he did not pitch throwing him many fastballs anyway. Jones waits in the next circle, but Cruz very powerful, and good hitters look for certain pitches, especially if they've made out on the same pitch earlier.
Machado not running, and the ball's tapped out in front to Malone, who waits for the big hop and throws, and that's out number 2. Ball hung up in the air for a while, but Malone took his time and got Cruz. So Machado now at second with 2 outs.
That's what I think happens too. And you look at Nelson Cruz, the numbers he has put up, but look how aggressive he is on this 3-1 pitch out of the strike zone, and hits it off the plate or close to him. Easy enough to play for Tommy Malone, but you have to wonder if guys become a little bit more aggressive because they are playing on a 1-year contract.
Maybe.
I mean, not to say they don't play hard all the time, but multi-year deal versus a 1-year deal and maybe a future long-term contract predicated on what I do this year.
Great note there. That's what the opponent's 3, 4, 5 hitters are doing against Malone. Hey, big swingers, change up.
Yep, it's perfect.
Here's Adam Jones. And Jones takes a fastball for a strike.
And you know what's good about Tommy Malone and facing those 3, 4, and 5 hitters? Aggressive, yes, but sometimes when runners on base scoring position, you pitch them differently than in this case where Jones lined out his first at bat. You know, either side of Lowry, it's a base hit. Will he get the same type of pitches in this at bat since the runner's in scoring position?
Strike 2 called. So 2 fastballs. Jones took them both. And now it's 0-2.
And both set up by Derek Norris on the inside part of the plate. A little bit of a higher target, but both pitches down around the knees. And obviously on the corner, enough for Larry Vanover to make the call.
And then a changeup, and Jones reaches for it to stay alive.
So much for the old theory about shortening up the 2 strikes. Normally, you go fastball, fastball. You wouldn't go changeup. You go changeup, maybe changeup, and then a fastball with 2 strikes. But it's just the opposite. But the aggressiveness of Jones turned out to be a pretty good pitch. Just happened to foul it.
Jones lined out to the shortstop Lowry. Was in the 2nd inning. He rolls that one to Donaldson, and Donaldson is going to tag Machado, and he does. And Machado fires his helmet down. He doesn't look like he's real happy with Donaldson. They're going to chat a little bit, and everybody's coming out of the dugout.
Donaldson's smiling. What's wrong? This is terrible. You know what, Kite? Donaldson made the right play. How many times? Why make the throw across the diamond when all you have to do is tag the base runner? Wow.
And the bullpen's coming out, and they're going to stop in shallow left center field and head back. Probably all walk back together.
You know, I'm always amazed when a play like that happens and the third baseman throws across the diamond. Donaldson's done this twice on this road trip already, where he's caught a ball and tagged the runner. And it looked like Machado fell down as he was trying to avoid the tag, running out of the baseline. And maybe at that point, Donaldson tried to reach and tag him. Wow.
So we'll take a look at it when we come back as we're headed to the 4th inning, and it's a 2-1 A's lead. third. This is how it ended.
Now think about this. Would you rather throw the ball across the diamond or just run up and tag a guy? Let's see. What? I mean, let's see if Donaldson actually touches him or pushes him a little bit whenever he. Now he just reached after him. I think Machado just lost his balance and then fired his helmet at the same time. Yeah, he just lost his balance. But you're right, Cap. Donaldson's smiling at him.
Well, that's not going to help the situation.
Yeah.
First pitch to Cespedes on the inside corner, first strike. Cespedes, Norris, and Moss. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Popped up. And it's going to be up behind the Orioles dugout. Cespedes struck out swinging to end the first inning. And behind in the count, 0-2. Another pop-up. This one may be playable. Davis is going to reach in and he caught it. Into the photographer's well, and he had just enough room, reached in there with the long arms.
A little chip shot by Cespedes and stayed in play enough. Not a lot of foul territory here at Camden Yards, but you have the rails in front of the dugouts, as most do now, with so little foul territory. And Davis timing it perfectly, going over to the photographer's area. Made a nice play.
So one out, and here's Norris.
Always the key on those that go to it as far as you can go and then make an adjustment.
Well, the Mariners and the Rays are underway. That's a 4-game series starting tonight in St. Petersburg. No score in the bottom of the third. It's Young for the Mariners, Bedard for the Rays, and of course, scoring that one was the Rays have lost 10 consecutive games. And they got to be pulling their hair out. I know that there's still a lot of baseball left, but the Rays at this point are 14 games behind the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL East.
Now, you don't have a team playing as well as the Blue Jays, and think they're going to overtake them, or at least really expect the Blue Jays to falter.
Machado. Got it, gets up, fires, and they just got Norris. Very nice play by Manny Machado, the third baseman.
Well, he is an outstanding third baseman defensively, and this play proves it, because it looked like it was in the hole. It'll spin after he got up, and what a gun he has. And Derek Norris runs well, and even going down to the dirt, but the strength of his arm and the accuracy throwing it over to Chris Davis helped him get the out. He injured his knee last year. Scary knee injury that he was able to come back from after a while.
And you know what, Ray? When Machado and Donaldson got face to face, that could have been what they were talking about. I think I'm going to win the Gold Glove. No, I think I'm going to win the Gold Glove. Machado won it last year. Donaldson, I mean, we've seen Donaldson. He certainly plays Gold Glove caliber defense. They could have been discussing that.
And you know as well as anybody that he's witty enough and thinks on his feet so quickly that he probably came to that conclusion just in that little scuffle.
That's right.
He's quick, Donaldson is. Also very strong.
Maybe one said, I think I'm better than Longoria. Maybe the other one said, I think I'm better than Beltran.
In fact, they both said we're happy Cabrera moved to third or to first.
Exactly right. .3-0 to Moss is in there first strike.
Maybe Machado said, how come you have all those votes for the All-Star at third base? I'm better than you.
Come on.
They're both good and both young. Actually, Machado really young.
Lost to shallow center. Jones coming in, but Hardy going out, and it's going to be Hardy with the shift on who makes the catch in shallow right center field. Nice play by Hardy. So good defense by the Orioles in the top of the fourth. On Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by 22 Jump Street in theaters June 13th. That's what they call the Inner Harbor here in Baltimore. Our hotel is very close to that, as is the ballpark, downtown Baltimore. Athletics 2, the Orioles 1. It's the bottom of the fourth inning, and it's Davis, Hardy, and Pierce. So Tommy Milone, 52 pitches through 3 innings. He's given up 4 hits. And he faces Chris Davis, who swings and misses. And that's Machado's version of the story, which I'm sure is different than Donaldson's version. And it's 0-2.
Well, the way I saw that, instead of that dramatic of a push, is the fact that when a runner knows he's going to be tagged, he tries to avoid the tag and runs really out of the baseline. And when he kind of spun a little bit, he probably felt it was pushed a little bit harder maybe than it was. Lost his balance. I think when he fell down the way he did, maybe he was just embarrassed. But got him riled up a little bit. I always like to see the bullpens empty. They're so late anyway by the time they run in. By the time they run in, it's over.
Well, they were following each other down the steps, which was kind of funny to watch. It's just to the, we look at it, to the right of the 2 bullpens, there's kind of a, actually I don't know if it's not stairs, it's just it's a walkway, and they were following each other down
to run out of the field. It was
blacktops first and then the green tops right behind it. Drive to left. Cespedes is going to watch this one go, and we're tied at 2.
And there's your short porch and the short wall. Actually, a great hitter's park, and Chris Davis has proved it.
So a line drive, home run the opposite way for Chris Davis.
Fastball away, but a little bit up, and Davis, tremendous power. And we saw him in Texas where he had a little tough time making contact. That's not been the case here. With the home runs last year and this blow to the opposite field. Again, the difference of a lower type fastball or one that's elevated a little bit for the power to go to the opposite field.
So a new ball game. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy had a 2-out single in the second inning, and that one's fair. Down the left field line. Donaldson dove, could not quite get it, and Hardy is going to have a double. Double number 14 on the year for Hardy.
Well, it's a double he almost had in his first at bat, although he did come around to score after the next two hitters singled. Donaldson saved the double, then could not get to this one. Just over the bag in the foul territory, but over the bag in fair territory. And Donaldson not able to come up with that one.
So 6 hits off Malone now, and here's Steve Pearce. Pearce had a base hit to center field in the second inning. So nobody out here in the fourth inning. Pearce check swing out in front. Malone picks it up, bearing, and throws in time. So it works as a sacrifice. A little check swing. Probably not what Pearce wanted, but it did get the runner over to third with 1 out.
Well, trying to pitch him inside to prevent it from hitting the ball to the right side, but the check swing did work out for him.
So Jonathan Scoop will hit, and the infield's going to come in. First pitch, swing and miss. Scope had, I think I said Scoop again. My apologies to the Scope family. Hope they're not listening to our broadcast.
It just is spelled S-K-O-P-E. Get it right. If there's an E at the end of O-O-P, then just one O. So a lot of variances there. But I'm right with you. I'm just glad you're the one that has to announce that he's hitting or not.
Well, I could be thinking of that ice cream I had in the lunchroom.
Oh, you got. I was looking for that. They had it already.
That's true too. Just saying. I'd have got you some if I knew you wanted to.
That's right. A scoop of Jonathan Scope.
That's right. 0-2 Malone looking for a big out. And he got it. Fastball at 87, and Scope strikes out.
All the fastballs inside, and Scope, who lofted a 2-0 changeup to right center, could not handle the fastball in. And Derek Norris just kept going in, elevated, and made a great pitch to get a big out.
So here's Hundley. Hundley takes a fastball inside. That one's hit hard. It's past the A's dugout. Fastball cutter comparison, Ray. Look at the first 5 starts, which are green, last 5 starts, which are yellow. So he's using the fastball cutter combination more, and it's working better, and it could just be placement as well.
Yeah, he's using the fastball in very effectively against the right-handers, and he's also developed a 2-seam fastball. So while there are a lot of fastballs thrown, you get the four-seamer, the cutter, and then you go the 2-seamer. That's a lot of variations of one pitch, and he's done exceptionally well with really what is not an overpowering fastball. Proof that you don't have to throw 97 to get outs and just have good location.
1-2 to Hundley, and he tried to get that fastball up and in, and Hundley did not chase it. So 2-2 the count, with Hardy at third and a run in here in the bottom of the 4th. There's a shot to left. Cespedes back there, and he makes the catch. Side retired. So Hundley hit it on the nose, but right into the glove of Cespedes. A run on the Davis home run. So it's a 2-2 game after 4. Coors Light. Most home runs in a season in Baltimore Orioles franchise history. Chris Davis last year with 53. Brady Anderson hit 50 in 1996. Then you got to go back to Frank Robinson, who hit 49. Jim Gentile hit 46. Rafael Palmeiro hit 43.
That would be Gentleman Jim Gentile.
Jim Gentile.
And Frank Robinson at Municipal Stadium. Brady Anderson hit 49 and never hit more than, what, 18 again?
I think so.
1 year. Bulked up and just so muscular and hit home runs consistently to right field. And
now he's in the front office with the Orioles.
Doing a great job.
Top of the 5th inning, it'll be Callaspo, Blanks, and Punto. Callaspo hit a line drive right at Scope, who grabbed it and threw back to first and doubled off Moss. That was in the 2nd inning.
In his last event yesterday, Yankee Stadium, a ball off the foot of David Robertson and carried him over to Teixeira, which should have been a base hit up the middle, or would have been, and a game-tying RBI single. But instead, as you said, when that happened, you know the A's were not going to come back and tie or much less win. Just, I mean, Callaspo just shook his head after the game. He said, I can't believe the ball was headed up the middle, just happened to hit the foot of Robertson and right over to Teixeira. This is what it looked like.
This ball is headed to center field.
Kick save, Teixeira back across, and he made the play. Figured, I'm going to save this game.
Machado flips to first, and that's out number 1. So that'll bring up Kyle Blanks. Chris Davis, this is last year's 53 home runs he hit. 24 of them on fastball, 13 on slider, 9 on a changeup. So that's interesting. It's fun to see what all the big power hitters do with a chart like that. I guess you're still going to hit a fastball a lot more than any other pitches because you're going to see more fastballs than other pitches.
No, his power to use the whole field, definitely.
Blanks with a good swing, fouls it straight back. So 1-1 to Blanks, who grounded to third. His first at bat. And that one hit down the left field line, and it's just foul. A jam shot.
Well, we've seen balls got into the hands of Blanks where he's hit him hard down the left field line. This one just kept running in. A cutting action, and ball kept hooking.
Chen has retired 6 in a row and make it 7. And there's that fastball, Ray, which the velocity's decent, but it's just up a little bit. And you see Chen get a lot of swings and misses.
And a fastball away and up, and it's almost like, why am I swinging? And that's kind of the finish by Blanks, and head back shaking your head.
So here's Punto, who struck out swinging in the third. 4 strikeouts for Chen. So it looks like he may be starting to lock in a little bit. And there's another strike. So a quick 0-2 to Nick Punto. Shoots it foul. Indians and the Rangers are underway in Arlington. No score in the second inning. That's Bauer for Cleveland, Darvish for Texas. The Indians have won 6 in a row.
Tigers losing 5 straight through yesterday have helped a lot of clubs get back in the race. It's a very tight division now. 4 games separates the first and the last.
Schoop has it, flips to first, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Wei-Yin Chen, who's now retired 8 in a row. Bottom of the 5th coming up from Baltimore. It's a 2-2 game.
At the Coliseum box office, purchase an A's ticket at regular price, show your Chevron personal credit card, and get a second ticket of equal value free. Limit of 2 free tickets per customer per game. Tickets subject to availability and additional restrictions apply. Go to chevroncards.com to learn more and apply for the credit card. This offer is administered by Chevron USA Incorporated.
A's fan hanging out, enjoying Orioles Park at Camden Yards.
It's out there by all those bronze statues that they erected for all the retired numbers and the Hall of Famers. The retired numbers high above left field. Prominently displayed. Here when Frank Robinson's statue was unveiled.
Statues out in left center field above the bullpens. Earl Weaver
puts hands in his pockets. Said, I don't want to hit an umpire, so I'm going to put my hands in my back pocket. Earl Weaver was great.
Utah Street out in right field. There's Jim Palmer.
There's Eddie Murray, Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson. There's Frank. Triple Crown winner coming over from the Cincinnati Reds.
Good statues.
Earl Weaver managed the Elmira team in Double-A when I played in Double-A. And out of nowhere, next thing you know, he's the big leagues manager. Great manager, Hall of Famer. Elmira, New York. Talk about a tough introduction. I think about these kids who drafted last night. I jumped straight from high school to Double-A baseball.
Double-A, yeah.
And they threw a pitch, and I saw it. I said, what was that? He said, a slider. I said, never seen one of those before.
No sliders in Marion, Illinois?
No. Curveball, changeup. You got to be kidding me. I mean, I showed up at 18, and I'm playing with guys 28, 29. They'd been in the big leagues down on the way, and they're throwing pitches. I said, wow. Couldn't not believe it. So, youngsters from last night and today and tomorrow, get ready. No more aluminum bats. You got the wooden bats. Of course, a lot of those kids playing summer baseball with wood bat leagues, which is smart. But it's different. You can get jammed with an aluminum bat. You might get a hit, may hit a home run, but you get jammed with a wood bat, you're going to carry the splinters like Brandon Moss did earlier.
Two pitch to Markakis, and again he fouls it straight back. Well, this ballpark opened way back in 1992, so it's amazing. But this is the 23rd year of Camden Yards, and it looks as good as ever.
Yeah. It looked the same way when it opened. It was so impressive with the green seats and, of course, the warehouse. And just a magnificent stadium.
There's a shot, just foul. And I mean, they may have made some upgrades here and there, but they haven't changed, obviously, the look of it at all. Around the ballpark has changed.
Hernandez said, that's my call. I got a foul ball. Standing room only out in center field.
Nothing but a big old party out there, it looks like. Same thing in right field.
Just put on an orange shirt. Let's go to the yard. Watch the Orioles play.
Markakis grounds it toward Punto, who backhands, throws on the run, and he's got it. So long at bat, and Malone gets Markakis.
And Nick Punto makes it look so easy. Ground ball up the middle, backhand, same motion, throwing to first base with a lot on it. He's got a left side of the infielder's arm, playing second base, so that helps him. And as his dad would be proud with his team called the Old School Baseball, and that's Old School Baseball, Nick Punto. Made it look easy, but not necessarily an easy play, but he made it look easy.
So one away, and here's Machado. Machado a strikeout and a single. And he rips one foul out in front.
Pat, remember when they had this green monster, this wall in center field had ivy growing on it?
Yeah, that's right.
What, did it all die? Because what happened? Chuck, did it just die because of lack of water or something? Is that it? Took it down? But that used to all be covered in kind of a dark ivy, so you had the same hitter's background.
Machado drives one to left center field. Gentry's near the wall, and that's gone. Machado homers, and the Orioles lead it 3-2.
Well, Gentry might have banged his knee into it also. A glove over the fence.
So home run number 4 for the youngster, Manny Machado.
Aggressively swinging at the first pitch, and they try to go back in, but look at the open stance, and it closes. Tommy Malone did not get it in, and that's what happens when you don't get the fastball into a power hitter. And Machado, great effort by Craig Gentry, and boy, he might have banged himself into the wall, maybe the chest.
Cruz is retired. Let's watch Gentry in his effort.
And watch where he hits elbow As the glove goes over, but he hit the wall hard right with his midsection, and left arm, right arm. Maybe that's why he released the glove. That bottom line, a home run, and Tommy Malone giving up 2 home runs, one each of the last 2 innings, and now the A's trail. Tommy did an excellent job striking out Scope last inning with the runner at third with fastballs in, but that's if he gets them in. Made a mistake to Machado.
Now here's Adam Jones. And Jones rifles one to left center field. That's hit well, and Gentry's going to get there and track it down. He came out of nowhere. So an eventful evening for Craig Gentry. He tracks that one down. A home run from Machado. It's 3-2 Orioles after 5. Fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to CSNCA Fan Photo. Put your name down and your hometown, and you have a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Carlos Villasis from Mountain View sent in the photo of Carlos and Serena. So Carlos, thanks for the picture. We appreciate it. And hey, Carlos and Serena, they could be watching the A's game tonight. And if they are, thanks for sending in the photo. Manny Machado with a home run. So the Orioles lead 3-2, top of the 6th inning from Baltimore.
Chris Davis went to the bubble gum.
Change it up.
And you go 4 innings one way and a couple of innings. And well, the A's 2 home runs themselves need to find a way to get back on the board now that they trail.
Top of the order, Gentry to lead it off, followed by Lowry and Donaldson. Wei-Yin Chen has retired 8 in a row. The last hit he gave up was that Gentry single with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Orioles, as a pitching staff, have an ERA of 4.23. That's 12th out of 15 teams in the American League, so the pitching has been just okay. Coming in is Markakis, and that's out number 1.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in True HD on over 400 devices. Visit athletics.com for details. Maybe that's a friend of Mahler's, huh?
Milwaukee baller. Yeah. Hope he's around. I haven't seen him yet this year. First pitch to Lowry. His bounce to short. Hardy waits on it. Straightens up. Throws. In time. 2 outs. But Ray, the reason I brought up the Orioles in their team ERA, which is a little high. They had hopes for Johan Santana. They signed him. Not quite healthy yet when they signed him, but they wanted to work him back slowly, and he was getting closer to be probably going into the rotation. He was rehabbing in the minor leagues, and we just found out today that he tore his Achilles tendon.
Mark Mulder.
What
happened to Mulder? First day of camp for the Angels, trying to make a comeback.
So the Orioles were thinking, well, maybe catch lightning in a bottle with Johan Santana, but it was not the case. Santana had shoulder surgery last April, and he was getting close to being fully healthy. Of course, Santana, great years with the Twins, and then traded to the Mets, but that is not going to happen. Torn Achilles tendon.
Too bad. He's trying to make the comeback, and boy, he was a great pitcher, especially with the Twins. He and Mariano.
Donaldson gets bent back out of the way, and crowd seems to like that. 2-1 the count.
You know, interesting about this at bat, the first two fastballs looked like Chen had a little bit extra on the fastballs, and then this one dangerously up around the head. Inside was the target, but that's a little bit too close.
So the count 2-1, and then Donaldson swings at a high fastball, fouls at that. So now it's 2-2.
4 pitches, 4 fastballs, all inside, and 2 down low, 2 up and in.
Setting up outside is Hundley, and it's just tapped foul headed toward the Orioles dugout. With 4 strikeouts, he has not walked anybody. Left-hander kicks, and the pitch is hit high and foul. Good swing there by Donaldson. Ball hits the facing in the upper deck and bounces down into the second level. And then all the way down to the bottom.
First at bat, a home run hit by Donaldson, a fastball. Next at bat, 3-0 changeup, 3-2 curveball that he almost hit out to center. This at bat, all fastballs. 6 pitches, all fastballs.
And another fastball. That one not close. So full count. Be interesting to see what Chen throws here on the full count. Bases are empty. Three-two pitch, and it hit him. So it hit Donaldson. They tried to go in again. And Donaldson trots to first base.
See what Donaldson did when he spun out after getting hit? He looked in the dugout. Almost as if saying, did you see what he's done? Because that's what's happening in this game. And this, watch what Donaldson, watch Josh afterwards. Gets hit. You look in the dugout. He said something almost as if they're trying to get me to his own dugout. And they did get him. Got him in the left elbow.
So a 2-out base runner, and here's Cespedes. And the first pitch not close to Cespedes, so Hundley will have a chat.
Well, if Chen was going to do anything, and it seemed like this at bat by Donaldson, maybe a reaction of what happened earlier at third base. But if you're going to do something, the best case scenario is to get 2 outs. You don't want to do it leading off an inning and have something happen and perhaps start an inning.
Cespedes, a strikeout and a foul out to Davis. Short lead by Donaldson. Now he dances off a little bit, and the pitch is high. 2-0. Norris would be next if Cespedes can somehow get aboard. Donaldson's got a little burn going right now. Plays with a lot of passion anyways. Cespedes had a big rip.
The big burn would be satisfied if he could trot around the bases following a home run by Cespedes. It looked like Yoenis at the 2-0 tried to do exactly that. And remember the way this park plays at Cespedes with his power line to line. There's no part of this park that he cannot reach over the fence.
And he skies one toward left center, but it's in the ballpark as Adam Jones is under it. He's got it, side retired. So Donaldson hit by a pitch. He is stranded, and we're going to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Davis, Hardy, and Pierce. 3-2 Orioles.
AT&T Uverse Rewind. We've talked about this being a hitter's park. Started with the A's. Josh Donaldson in the first inning, 2 out. Fastball, right field, right center field. 1-0 Athletics. Derek Norris, 3-2 fastball next inning. He hit a home run. So 2-0, but the Orioles pecking away. Fastball, 2. Chris Davis, opposite field, low line drive. And then Amanda Machado, who is starting a lot of things tonight. It's a fastball, didn't quite get it inside far enough, left center. And Craig Gentry, great effort, could not get to it.
So it's a 3-2 Orioles lead, bottom of the 6th inning, and Chris Davis to lead it off. So the Davis home run. Tommy Milone's first pitch is hit very high. Blanks foul territory, and he's got it. That's a good pop-up right there.
That's a high pop-up.
Chris Davis goes after the first pitch. He's retired, and here's J.J. Hardy.
Well, you know, Kat, maybe it's tonight's actions here on the field in honor of the 70th anniversary of D-Day, which on June 6, 1944, and prior to the game, Buck Showalter, the manager of the Orioles, walked out a gentleman that didn't quite hear it, but probably a survivor. And he was shooing away Buck, who was trying to help him walk out on the field. The gentleman probably involved in D-Day, and he said, "Buck, let me walk on my own." But this is the anniversary of D-Day, 1944, June 6th.
70 years ago.
70 years.
I'd like to make that trip someday.
Yeah.
Go to the beaches of Norman. I think it's probably something that we should all see, even though just a little bit different now than it was then.
Well, the invasion, and Dwight David Eisenhower, president, was going to do it on June the 5th, but the weather was too bad. He decided to wait a day.
It was a little nasty out.
Yeah, decided to wait. Said, okay, weather wasn't that good on June 6th, but decided to do it anyway. But yeah, hard to believe 70 years ago. But a great day, and Ryan Cook, who we have not seen since return from the disabled list, although has been up a couple of times in the bullpen. Tommy and Malone, third time through the batting order, and been some hard hit balls.
Donaldson scoops it up. And Hardy is retired. Well, Ray, not only is it D-Day, it's also my dad's birthday.
Oh, great. That's a great day.
That's right. Henry is 89 years old today. 89. And he was going to dinner. Now, when you're 89, you go to dinner a little earlier, usually, because he doesn't want to be out late. So he said, I'm going to go to dinner early, and then I'm going to get home and be able to watch the ball game.
So, D-Day, 44. Then Henry was...
He was 19. He was born in 1925.
Yeah. 19.
He had already been a farmer for 2 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can.
Gee, so he's 89 today, and he's doing great.
Well, happy birthday. That's a great day.
He's happy because he gets to go to dinner, come home, and he's got a doubleheader to watch. He can watch an East Coast game and then do his best to stay awake for a West Coast game.
I do have the thing called the DVR.
Oh, yeah. Pierce is 1 for 2. It's the changeup, and it was a good one. So the 2-0 changeup, and that'll drive a hitter crazy.
Now the fastball inside has worked well for Tommy. Unfortunately, the fastball away to Davis. The fastball supposedly inside to Machado, but the changeup has worked, and that fastball didn't.
Donaldson, the leap for it, could not quite get it, and Pierce has his second hit.
Well, that's twice tonight. Throw him a curveball in the first inning. A good curveball, came back with a fastball. And this time, 2-0 changeup, excellent. Back with a fastball. Both times he's hit the ball solidly. The first time in center field for a base hit. This one to left field.
Pitch breakdown. A little high in the second inning, but outside of that, not too bad. Overall, though, 90. So here's Scope, the second baseman, who has an RBI single and a strikeout. This pitch is rolled foul. Rays have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Mariners. That game now in the bottom of the 5th, and the Rangers scored 4 in the bottom of the 2nd, and they lead the Indians 4-0 in the top of the 3rd. Fastball just a bit inside. The White Sox and the Angels will get started a little bit later in Anaheim. Lorenzo for the White Sox and Weaver for the Angels. Angels have lost 5 out of their last 6. So I'm sure they would like to get a little momentum this weekend before they get set to host the A's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Swing and a miss. Changeup, 1-2.
Changeup was hit by Scope in his first at bat. Drove in the first run for the Orioles. This time a changeup is flailing open after getting the fastball as his last at bat when he struck out a runner at third.
Quick throw at first. See, with the White Sox, they have spent the entire week in Southern California. They played the Dodgers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They had Thursday off, and now in Anaheim to play the Angels this weekend. Popped up on the infield. Lowry is back. And now Punto comes over, but Lowry says, I'll take care of it, and he does. Side retired. 7th inning coming up. Norris, Moss, and Callaspo to hit for the A's. It's the Orioles 3 and the Athletics 2. California is brought to you by Sonoma Raceway. NASCAR returns June 20th through the 22nd for the Toyota Safe Mart 350, and it's only at Sonoma Raceway. Orioles 3, A's 2. It's the top of the 7th inning with Wei-Yin Chen back out there. He's pitched well so far. A couple of solo home runs for the A's. That's their scoring. Donaldson in the first, Norris in the second. Each team with a couple of home runs. So we'll see if the A's can get something going against the 28-year-old left-hander Chen. Ryan Webb starts to throw. Remember the Orioles, their closer, Tommy Hunter. But Tommy Hunter's on the disabled list. He's got a groin strain, and the Orioles sound like he may come back on Sunday.
The question is, rumor has it, would he get his closing job back? Zach Britton's done a good job, the lefty, former starter.
So we'll see about that. But the point is the Orioles do not have their main closer right now, and that's Hunter right there.
And their former closer now at the Athletics, Jim Johnson, who the Orioles did not bring back and traded him to the Athletics. Jamal Weeks, who's AAA.
Yep. Maybe Jamal Weeks would have a chance to win the second base job, but he did not. It went to Scope.
Well, was up for a little while, but did not stay long. He's had a lot of moves, a lot of maneuvering. There's Jim Johnson in a different bullpen. He's usually down in the lower bullpen. I wonder if he led the A's to follow the guys in the dark jerseys.
I'll show you where to go. Come on. Sure, it's a little strange for Jim Johnson to come to a ballpark that he came to so many times as the home player and now being a visiting player.
I wonder when they play the national anthem here if he yelled "oh." It's what they do when they come to the part "oh," and the place just erupts with everybody thinking the part of the song is for the Orioles fans as they say "oh."
I bet though Jim Johnson's sitting in the upper tier of the bullpen, and he's probably thinking, I always wondered what the view was like up here, because I always saw it from just below. See, the A's bullpen is just above the Orioles bullpen. So really, if there was ever a brawl, they could just stay out there and just square off and still win all the way in.
That's what I've always felt. Why run all the way in here side by side and walk back out peacefully? Why not just duke it out right in the bullpen?
Jump over the fence and just square off, roll around for a little while, and then it's all over. 3-2 pitch, and that's a line drive into center field, the base hit. So Norris with a leadoff single. So that'll bring up Moss. So, Ray, check this out. You're going to like this. Something we've put together.
Oh, wow.
These are ground ball, only ground balls that Moss has hit. And obviously red is the hot spot. That's where the majority of his ground balls go. And that should tell you right there why they put the shift on. Very interesting.
Hoodie, how long did it take you to do that? Was it Hoodie?
So
28 hours.
So I mean, he has not hit a ground ball from the shortstop toward third base, not one time this year, a ground ball.
So if he bunts right now, then are you going to color that purple?
There may be a small color there,
but you know, in reality, the reason Brandon Moss has had a lot of success with the A's is because of that. Because he's not hit the ball that direction, where other hitting coaches and other organizations perhaps try to convince him to do that.
And he's not. I mean, he doesn't hit ground balls a whole lot, anyways.
No.
I mean, he's a fly ball, strike out, hit a home run guy. But he has become a pretty good hitter.
And the reason they employ the shift is because the way he has swung the bat with the Athletics, and that's because Chili Davis is that be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else except yourself.
Broken bat, slowly hit. Davis picks it up. He's going to go to second, and they got the lead out. So that's a nice play by Chris Davis. And once again, the Orioles infielders had to deal with the bat. And the bat, Ray, the head of the bat went in just about the exact same spot as in the second inning.
And if there had not been a runner at first base, Chris Davis might not have gotten Brandon Moss again, because exactly the way it happened earlier, the bat on the dirt part of the infield, and Davis realizing maybe not a chance to get Moss at first, so he goes the shorter distance. Well, Showalter's already, when he trots out, he's making a move, and he just did.
So Chen, 102 pitches, and he goes 6 1/3 good innings tonight. He'll lead to a standing ovation. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Your very own Cocoa Crisp Garden Gnome, presented by Grant Thornton LLP. Get your tickets now for the A's Red Sox game Sunday, June 22nd, when 20,000 fans will go home with a Cocoa Gnome. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets today. Might have to have a Craig Gentry gnome as well, huh? Because he's a speedy outfielder.
Yes, he is.
He's run down a couple of balls, but it's the Cocoa Gnome. That's when Coco had the big hair. He's got it much shorter now.
So the A's have a runner at first and one out. And this is Ryan Webb, who used to be in the Athletics organization. And he was a 4th-round pick of the A's in 2004. It was acquired by the San Diego Padres for Scott Hairston. Remember that trade?
Sure.
The A's got Scott Hairston. So Ryan Webb never pitched in the big leagues, but last 3 years with the Marlins, and he pitched pretty well. Wei-Yin Chen, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 runs allowed in 6 1/3. And the first pitch is outside. So Webb was not offered a contract by the Marlins, which is interesting. And signed as a free agent with the Orioles.
And like a lot of relievers, 2 and 4 seam fastball, slider, an occasional changeup, but mostly hard as the first one to Callaspo. Hard, sinking away from him.
This one's popped up toward right field where Markakis comes in. And that's out number 2. So Webb gets Callaspo, and now he'll face Kyle Blanks. Did a good job with inherited runners. Stephen Vogt is getting ready. He's got the helmet ready.
Did a great job in right field yesterday in Yankee Stadium.
First pitch to Blanks is outside. Blanks with a ground out and a strikeout. And there's a line drive and a base hit to center field for Blanks. So the A's now have the tying run at second base, go ahead run at first, and it's going to be Nick Punto.
Hard hit again with an elevated fastball, and Webb with the first pitch kind of slung the ball to the outer part of the plate, but Kyle Blanks took advantage of the higher fastball. So the A's trying to do something with 2 outs.
Punto has struck out and he has grounded out, and he's now with 5 hits in the game. Correction, 6 hits in the game. Need a big one here from Punto. In the first pitch, he's a strike. Moss is the runner at second. Blanks at first. Webb just misses outside.
Well, against the Tigers, Nick Porcello, Nick Punto, and a 2-run home run. That was big because it gave the A's an early lead, but unfortunately would not last long. Porcello would end up getting the victory as the Tigers took the lead, added 2 more a little bit later, and Nathan came close to a blown save, but hung on to him. But that was a big 2-run home run by Punto.
This one's popped up. Machado drifting toward the seats. He's got just enough room, and he makes the count. So Webb gets out of it. The A's strand a pair. We have reached the 7th inning stretch. From Baltimore, it's the Orioles 3 and the A's 2.
On Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, we got in-depth sports news for the great Bay Area fans. Know it all with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Tonight, you'll get all the highlights and clubhouse reaction from our game here in Baltimore. Also, Jim Harbaugh talks about the Colin Kaepernick new contract and the Belmont preview from New York. Mindy Bach and Andrea Nakano will host. So here at Camden Yards, it's the Orioles 3, the A's 2. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up, and small expert. So Ryan Cook, his first appearance since coming back from the disabled list. He did not pitch in the Yankees series. So Cook comes on. He'll face Hundley, Markakis, and Machado.
Oh, all the Tommy John surgeries around baseball, especially starting pitchers at the major league level. And Ryan Cook last pitch, and he grabbed his right arm around the elbow. You wondered, but fortunately, it was just a muscle strain. DL'd him, and after some rehab assignments and pitching, he seemed to be ready. It's a good slider, and of course, a good sinker slider pitcher.
Tommy Milone goes 6 innings, gives up 3 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Donaldson waits, gets the nice hop, throws in time. This was May 7th when Cook injured that arm.
Curveball, and then this happened. And they just, yeah, come on out. I'm gonna have somebody look at me. And fortunately, I guess if you could say fortunate, is the fact that it was just a strain and time on the DL, and he is back.
So 1 out, and here's the top of the order, Nick Markakis. And that one missed, I guess, a little bit inside. So it's good to have Cook back. Very important part of the A's bullpen. During the 7th inning stretch here at Camden Yards, they always play Thank God I'm a Country Boy by John Denver, and they play it every home game, and the fans love it.
Yes, they do.
They go clapping and singing, having a good time. Markakis shoots one into left field. The base hit just went the other way.
Actually, Brandon Moss sings along with him.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he's a country boy. Yes, he does. Fastball. This is not surprising for Markakis, and pay him a lot of money. Really, right now does not hit as many home runs as he once did, but a Gold Glove type outfielder. Makes good contact, and came back off the disabled list. They inserted him in the leadoff spot. He's had a lot of success. Hits like that, setting the table.
There's Machado, who's 2 for 3, including a home run. And he bounces one toward the hole. Lowry has it to second for one. Pinto on to first, and Blanks digs it out, and it's a double play. So that ends the bottom of the 7th, and we're moving to the 8th. Still 3-2 Orioles.
presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Oakland A's take on the defending World Series champion Boston Red Sox in a 4-game series from Thursday, June the 19th through Sunday, June 22nd. Don't wait. Get great seats now at athletics.com/tickets.
So Red Sox and the A's coming up. Here at the top of the 8th, Coco Crisp is going to hit for Gentry. He's going to face a new pitcher. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Darren O'Day off to a great start. That ERA of 0.75 is the second best reliever ERA in the American League. So, Sidewinder having a nice season. So, Coco to pinch hit.
You just heard who's pitching from our PA announcer in the stands below us. He's always there, but Coco did not start the game.
First pitch is a bit outside. There's a gentleman here who's here every game at Camden Yards. He's right below us, and what he does is he's the public address announcer, but he doesn't have a microphone. So he stands up and he announces to the crowd the lineup before the game, and then he announces who the new pitcher is or who may be pinch hitting.
He basically does everything that the public address announcer for the stadium does, or the in-house announcer.
But he's just a fan, and he's right below us. So if we're not sure who's coming in, we just listen. 2-0 the count to Crisp trying to get aboard.
He'll give us the attendance pretty soon. We'll find out what that is.
Missed again, 3-0.
August 24th last year, 3-1 count, fastball, tie game, 9th inning, gone. Coco Newton will flip. And over the out-of-town scoreboard, the A's won the game 2-1. Now it's 3-0. A's trailing by a run.
And on 4 pitches, O'Day walks Coco Crisp.
And you notice the 3 pitches he tried to nail the outside corner did not. In the 3-0, overthrew it a little bit, afraid that maybe Coco would be swinging 3-0.
So the A's have the tying run aboard, and here's Lowry. So Lowry hits from the left side for the first time. There's a strikeout, a fly ball to center field, and a ground out to short. Machado, the third baseman, is in on the grass.
Hundley with the stolen base by Gentry earlier. That was back in the 3rd inning. He made a very strong throw and scope. Not scoop, but scope. I had to think about it for a second.
I'm thinking about it right now.
But he actually did a good job of Stroud in the back, and Gentry had beaten throw anyway.
First pitch to Lowry, floats in for a strike, 80 miles an hour.
Jed didn't like that because he thought maybe the ball came around the plate. Backdoor sliders have a tendency to do that.
A couple of righties up for the A's. And again, it's 0-2. Lowry not happy with either of those calls.
Of the two, the second one seemed to be more of a strike. This one, that two-seamer had late movement on it away. I guess he didn't like it. That kind of set it off.
So now Lowry behind 0-2. Donaldson in the on-deck circle. And a foul tip hung on by Hundley, and that's a strikeout. So Lowry heads back.
Yeah, he's asking because this is a foul tip call. He went, yeah, it's a foul tip, and that's what Bob Melvin is questioning. And Lowry didn't think so. It looked like his body before had a chance to foul tip it.
So it's out number 1, and here's Donaldson. So this would be a fun at bat to watch. O'Day, of course, that sidewinding delivery can be tough on right-handers, but Donaldson is very good. Not afraid to go the other way. And the game is on the line. Coco runs. Hundley's throw is late, and Coco steals it.
And that's good to do it with a right-handed hitter. Donaldson could see Coco take off. It was a strike, but kind of a fake bunt brought the bat back to try to disrupt Hundley a little bit, but that's a great play by Donaldson. High throw, no chance for Coco. No chance to get him with a great jump, and a good time to do it early in the count. Didn't do it with Lowry up. Maybe kept the hole open between first and second, but Donaldson first pitch took it, allowing Coco to steal it.
So the pitch was called a strike. 0-1 to Donaldson. Hits one high and foul, headed for the upper deck. Now Donaldson's going to have to battle behind in the count 0-2 with Cespedes in the on deck circle. Donaldson a homer, fly ball to center field, and he was hit by a pitch. That one runs up and in. Scope trying to keep Coco close at second base. He's right near the bag. Missed again, 2-2.
There's a couple of chances to get a hit to perhaps tie the game if they can come through with one to the outfield. So he's got to throw the slider again sometime.
A fake move toward Crisp at second base.
See, that's the move that O'Day's manager would like to see eliminated, like the fake to third, throw to first. Buck Showalter said that inside move should not be allowed, and yet his pitcher just tried to do it.
Donaldson chased it, and O'Day gets the big strikeout. So there was the slider, as Ray predicted, and Donaldson just could not lay off.
Anybody has a sidewinding delivery to a right-hander and to sweep it outside, start in the middle of the plate, look like a strike, and then just keeps going. You really have to concentrate on right field, and if you do that, you close up. Maybe we don't swing at it, but pretty good pitch from O'Day.
So now it'll be Cespedes to try to get a big 2-out hit here with Crisp at second.
Think he'll get a few of those sliders?
I'm afraid of it. Strikeout, foul out, fly out for Cespedes. I think that the replay of Donaldson striking out, you could see how late the slider does break. Yeah. It's a tough pitch. There's a line drive, and it's fair. Down the left field line, and the A's are going to tie it. Coco speeds home. Cespedes with a double, and it's now a 3-3 game.
Well, you throw all the sliders, you take a chance of doing exactly what O'Day did. That's hanging it. And if you notice, the first pitch taken by Cespedes didn't even offer to swing. This one got a slider again. Didn't really hit it that hard off the end of the bat, but just fair, just inside the line. And a 2-out run scoring double, and Cespedes does it again.
So he now has 40 RBIs on the year. So Chen, who pitched well, is going to get a no decision.
Well, the 4-pitch walk to Coco Chris, the stolen base. He would have scored on the double anyway, but that, I mean, just a pretty good approach by Cespedes, yet O'Day did not try to go the same positioning as he did with Donaldson in the strikeout. Left it in the middle of the plate. And Cespedes, with a one-handed swing, and just hit it in fair territory. So the ER bumps, up a little bit for O'Day. It's not only has that, but he blows a save, which relief pitchers don't like that.
And you put that all together, Ray, and if you're O'Day, you got first base open, you got a pretty aggressive right-handed hitter up. You just can't hang a slider.
Really, he should have thrown it like he did to Donaldson. All of them. Because we have seen Cespedes, unfortunately, we've seen too much of him chasing sliders out of the strike zone.
And you got another right-handed hitter coming up in Norris.
Yeah, you try to get him to chase. If he does it, then you put him on and go after the next one.
And now it's 1-2 to Norris, who is a homer and a single. He's 2 for 3. O'Day is ready. He's going to take a quick look at Cespedes. He doesn't even look at him, and the pitch is foul back.
You know, I've often wondered about that myself, and especially with 2 outs and the runner at second really not being held. They're not paying attention to him, which the infielders want to hold their position. But sometimes a pitcher can at least look and stop the runner. Before he just was concentrating trying to get the 3rd out. With Norris and did not pay any attention to Cespedes.
Fastball outside. Good take by Norris. 2-2.
Overthrew this one like he did to the 3-0 to Crisp, and really no two-seam action trying to bring it back. It just kept floating away.
Two-two pitch, and there's the slider, and Norris chased it. Cespedes with a big 2-out RBI double, so we're headed to the bottom of the 8th. This game is tied at 3. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. A's tie it with a run in the eighth, so it's 3-7-0 for the A's, 3-9-0 for the Orioles. Malone went 6. Chen went 6 1/3. Couple of home runs for each team, and a good ball game tonight. Things got a little chippy earlier between Machado and Donaldson. It seems to maybe have passed. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smart experts as Luke Gregerson comes in.
Well, it's nice you bring up Chippy because, you know, Chippy and Chili fighter last weekend was a big day at the Coliseum on the Sunday. You know, Skoko in center field with Gregerson. Well, this is where it all started back in the third inning, and ground ball. Donaldson said, I'll just tag the runner. And I think Machado, I don't know. It's just. And he said you don't have to tag me that hard. And then Chen, who is not going to hit ever again, maybe an interleague play, but Chen took it upon himself to try to throw up and into Donaldson. A couple at his head, finally hit him, and Donaldson a little bit upset. I think Machado looks at that. He may see that he just stumbled as he tried to avoid the tag and maybe thought he was tagged hard, but it didn't seem like it. But it's always nice to get interesting things happening in that game.
So Nelson Cruz to lead off against Gregerson. Cruz has been quiet so far, 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a fly ball, and he takes the first pitch inside from Gregerson. So Cook goes an inning. That's up a hit, but got a double play to end the bottom of the seventh. It'll be Cruz, Jones, and Davis. So 3 big power hitters for the Orioles.
Cruz just took the first 2 fastballs looking slider because the second one was a pretty good pitch to hit.
And Angel Hernandez says you went around. So 1-2 the count.
Enough on the slider that Angel thought he did go, and that replay showed that he did.
And a good slider there, and Nelson Cruz strikes out. So he's 0 for 4.
Yeah, it's almost like the first 2 fastballs set up what ultimately turned out to be a strikeout. Fastball 1 for a strike, and then a check swing, and then a hard slider down out of the strike zone.
So 1 out, and here's Adam Jones.
I don't know how this series is going to go. Cruz is a very good hitter, and he's proven that this year, but he's facing a team really that saw him a lot with the Rangers. And tonight he's 0 for 4.
Adam Jones is 0 for 3. And he lines one to Lowry, who grabs it, and that's out number 2. So that'll bring up Chris Davis.
Well, it looked like it's headed for the outfield. That might have been a double with Jones' speed if it gets past Lowry, but nice range down to his left and reached out, made the play.
So Davis steps up. He homered in the 4th, his 9th of the year. And the first pitch is a sinker away. And he swings and misses off speed, 80 miles an hour, way out ahead of it.
Swung it like it was a changeup, but it took something off the slider.
Zach Britton is getting loose. Left center field, and that's a hit. Cespedes hustles over to cut it off, and Davis is going to try for 2. The throw to second base is in time. They got him.
Does it again, doesn't he?
So Punto stayed with the tag. Cespedes throws out another runner. And Davis is out at second base. He is still down. So let's hope Chris Davis is okay, but he is out at second base on a close play. To be okay.
Not a bad play on his part. Like a double towards left center, but watch again. Yoenis Cespedes gets to the ball quickly and almost as if to say, "You're going to run, okay." And then strong throw. But watch Nick Punto too, as the tag, and he just laid out over the bag. Initially, he never tagged him, and Chris Davis tried to go over him, but Nick Punto stayed and stayed and stayed and got him someplace. It looked like Davis landed hard on his hip. Great job by Nick Punto staying on him right there. Must have gotten him on the chin or someplace in the area because he was called out.
So it's Zach Britton, left-handed.
Got him on the chin. Yeah, chin, chin, chin.
Well, Zach Britton comes in. In the absence of Hunter, Britton has been closing. And that's why he's in the game at this point. With tie game, home team, ninth inning. You see managers bringing their closer quite often. But good ERA, great ERA, 0.88. So he's done a nice job, and it's 1-2 to Moss. Moss will be followed by Callaspo, and then blanks here in the top of the ninth inning of a 3-3 game.
He looked at the matchups, and coming to the ninth inning, he looked at the A's lineup after Norris has struck out. And it's got a Moss and Callaspo, the switch hitter.
And a swinging strikeout, 96 miles an hour with, looked like some late movement from Zach Britton.
This 2 and 4 seam fastball and a slurve, and that's it. Even in starting rotation, that's pretty much what he was throwing. That's why the way this young man is throwing, that when Hunter is eligible to come back or can come back, if he regains his closer role. They were kind of going with committee and Hunter and different ones, just trying to decide what they were going to do.
Doolittle starts to throw. Get Hunter back. That's not a bad bullpen, right?
No, it's not.
This young man pitching well, and Webb and O'Day. The Orioles concerned maybe the rotation more so than the bullpen. 0-1 to Callaspo. Callaspo has lined into a double play. He has grounded out and he has flied out. 0 for 3. The A's with 7 hits in the game. The Orioles have 10. So Callaspo trying to get aboard. He rolls that one slowly toward Hardy, the shortstop. 2 outs.
Talking to Mike Bordick, of course, former shortstop with the Athletics, and then came to Baltimore and took over at shortstop when he joined the Orioles. Now doing some TV work for Baltimore. And he said on the last road trip when the Orioles went to, I think, he said Milwaukee, Houston, and Texas, and Arlington. There is Mike Bordick, sure-handed shortstop. But he said he talked to J.J. Hardy, and Hardy said he had never seen infields as bad as the 3 that he played on the road. And that's why it seemed like that he was having a tough time making the plays. And for him to make 3 errors last night, but the 2, especially in Houston and in Arlington, didn't feel that the infields were good, and even threw in Milwaukee on top of it, that we saw for the first time last year. And as sure-handed as Hardy is, something had to be wrong, and maybe it was the field.
So Blanks is retired on the ground out to Machado, and we are going to the bottom of the 9th in Baltimore. This game is tied at 3.
Honda player of the game, Yoenis Cespedes, a game-tying 2-out RBI single. And then how about this one? Chris Davis trying to stretch a single into double. Yoenis Cespedes, who the last time Tommy Malone threw out 2 at home plate, this time throws out. Chris Davis at second, as Nick Punto did a great job of staying on the tag. Cespedes a strong throw, another assist. And of course for him, tying the game and keeping it that way with a great throw to second base. And they're trying to get into extra innings because that's where they're going to have to go if this game is going to continue.
Gregerson back out there for his second inning of work. It'll be Hardy, Pierce, and Scope. 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Orioles lineup. First pitch to Hardy is a slider that is in for a strike. Hardy's got a single, a double, and a ground out, and he has scored a run. And he loops this one to shallow center. Coco's not going to get it. Just kind of reached for the slider, flicked it out there, and it's a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, that's all it was. Just off the end of the bat. Hardy a good night, both at the plate and defensively. Third hit for him. Coco not in your screen yet. And they come up short. Really not a bad play, even though puts the go-ahead run at first, but dive for it, you miss it, put him in scoring position.
So here's Steve Pearce. Fernando Abad quickly gets up in the A's bullpen, and he is warming up quickly. Pearce is 2 for 3, couple of singles. Donaldson comes in, not bunting, and the first pitch is a strike. Well, there is Abad. Doesn't take him long.
He's ready.
Yeah, he's throwing 94.
Oh, he's throwing 94 in the first when he delivered to Casey Chavez.
Hit foul, rolls back behind Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire, and it's 0-2. Are you surprised they're not bunting here, Ray?
Yes, I am, to be honest. I really am. But that's the fact that you're looking at the bottom of the batting order. But, you know, Pearce has swung the bat well, a couple of hits. He did have a check swing on one, but I don't know if Buck Showalter's looking at the lineup, the part of the lineup, and saying that if he did bunt, maybe Scope, Hundley would have the opportunity to be the heroes, but I'd rather take the chance with this young man. Graham said hoping for a ground ball to get 2.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. So on 3 pitches, Pearce does not bunt, and he ends up striking out.
And I'm sure Pearce really is not seeing Gregerson a lot, if any. And that's why I agree with you that you get a situation with a tough pitcher and you haven't seen him. That's a devastating slider. It's a tough pitch for a hitter who is familiar with Luke Gregerson with that type of slider, and it's a good one.
Interesting, too. There's a couple of left-handed hitters on the bench, Ray. Ryan Flaherty and David Loaf. That one dribbled out in front. Gregerson has it, straightens up, throws, and they get Cope, and that is the second out.
Well, maybe one of those left-hand hitters coming in right now, and Scope just had the squib basically, and that's it.
So it's not going to be a left-handed hitter. It's going to be Delman Young, a veteran right-handed hitter.
Well, as we've said before, Kai, the fact that in this ballpark, actually the batting cage is below the Orioles dugout. So Delman Young is told, get ready. In the cage, walk straight out, put a little pine tar on his back, and that's probably why he's going. So Gregerson, again, remember first base is open. The tough Markakis in the on-deck circle. Delman Young is a free swinger, and no reason to try to throw a slider that's going to hang in his wheelhouse. Maybe try to get him to chase a bunch out of the strike zone.
First pitch to Young, swing and a miss on a slider. Hardy is the winning run. He's at second base.
This is the type of slider you want to throw, not close to being a strike.
Delman Young hitting .280 with a home run. And that one blocked nicely by Norris.
Hard slider, you just anticipate them break, and he did. Fortunately, as the ball checked up and came back, notice how the ball hits and then bounces back to the right. That's the way the slider does hit the dirt. Abad probably getting ready if it got to Markakis, whether in this inning or he's hopeful that it would be the next inning.
One pitch, another slider, another swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Throwing the same one, or at least similar. And how many times we've seen you try to throw the slider, you hope to throw it that way. Sometimes it hangs a little bit, but Gregerson can bury it, and he needs to try to bury it again, and I'm sure that's what Derek Morrison here thinking about.
And he did, and he struck out Delman Young with another slider. So Gregerson works off the bases, or the leadoff single, and the Orioles do not score, so we're headed to extra innings in Baltimore. To take on Toronto FC, and you're going to see it right here on Comcast Sports in California. San Jose is going to look to make it 2 road wins in a row. Both teams trying to battle their way back into playoff contention. The home of Earthquake Soccer is Comcast Sportsnet. So San Jose at Toronto FC tomorrow. So we got extra innings here in Baltimore. Punto, Crisp, and Lowry, and Zach Britton back out there.
In fact, I agree with the 100% that you get a leadoff single or any leadoff hitter on in the 9th inning and a tie game in your home team with no indication of a sacrifice. A little strange. A little strange. And really, I don't care who's coming up.
No.
You know, you try to figure you're going to take a chance of getting some kind of a hit to get the game winner. Could be anything happening, but the Orioles did not. The A's got out of it and trying to do something against Britton.
Well, you know what I thought was strange, Ray, is after Hardy. Now, we know Gregerson's very tough on right-handed hitters, right?
Exactly.
Pierce, Scope, and Delman Young, all 3 right-handed hitters. And there are 2 left-handed hitters on the bench. And Buck Showalter doesn't use either of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe. And you know, you think maybe Hundley, who caught Gregerson, you'd have to think last year, San Diego, right? You know, but he was pinch hit 4. But no, it just, I don't know.
I mean, we know Gregerson against right-handed hitters, and he's a different pitcher against right-handers than he is against left-handers.
And Buck Showalter's managed a long time, and so he had his reasons for not doing it. But I think from the A's standpoint, they're happy. They get to hit in the 10th inning and trying to make something happen and win a game in extra innings.
Good pitch there from Britton. So Britton, who had a quick 9th inning, a couple of groundouts and a strikeout, back out there for the 10th.
Simmer outside. There is a new catcher who showed briefly coming in as Hundley was removed for a pinch hitter.
Caleb Joseph is the new catcher. And Punto swings and misses, and that's the 2nd strikeout for Britton.
Punto's got a pretty good eye and knows the strike zone. This one just sinking quickly out of the strike zone. Not really a sinker, just a 4-seam that was out of the zone. And after he foul tipped, he looked back to see if Joseph hung on, which he did.
So Coco Crisp in the top of the order. First pitch to Coco is low.
What we're seeing with Zach Britton, of course, had been a starter this year with Hunter going on the disabled list, moving to closer role. So normally, when the closer goes in, he pitches 1 inning and he's done, as was the case with Robertson in the game a couple of nights ago in New York. And he's winning an extra innings against Warren, but Britton, because he's pitched multiple innings.
Extra inning notes on the A's and the Orioles. Both teams have done well. 2-0 to Crisp, who walked, stole a base, and scored that tying run. And he loops this one toward right center field. Actually hits it well, and Adam Jones can't get it. Jones scoops it up. Coco digging around first. He's into second, and he's got a double.
Coco Crisp pinched hit last at bat. Second at bat, he saw 6 pitches, did not swing the bat. Finally gets a pitch that he can swing at, a high fastball, and I thought initially off the bat it was just going to drop in shallow right field, but the ball kept carrying.
So I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
I thought he did it off the end of the bat.
I think it kind of the open up with his swing. Looked like he flared it out there, but hit it deep enough, and I think the left slice on it that Jones, the Gold Glove center fielder, couldn't get to. Say Gold Glove with the Orioles, you're talking about a lot of players.
Yep.
Catch on the disabled list, Hardy, Jones, got a few of them.
So the A's are going to get a couple cracks to get the go-ahead run in here with Lowry stepping in. First pitch to Lowry, just a bit low. A double for Coco, his 11th of the year.
Saw Nick Punto swing at a couple of pitches out of the strike zone. But as soon as Coco Crisp came up and now Lowry, they both laid off the low fastball.
Come on, Joe Lowry.
Little with the lead in the bottom of the 10th. Abad probably if it's tied.
Lowry to right field. Hit pretty well. Markakis headed for the corner. Still into the corner. And he caught it. Coco tags. He's going to hustle over to third. But what a play by Nick Markakis in the corner.
We can play some outfield. We're talking about the Gold Glovers, and he might not win as many, but he is an outstanding outfielder. He throws well, and look with the ball slicing away from him by Lowry. It was going to drop in, but he just kept going, reached back over, almost outran it. But Coco played it well because he'd gone halfway, making sure to score if the ball got over his head. But because Markakis caught it, his momentum took him into the wall. Coco was able to get back quickly and tag where he could score on a mistake, but that was an outstanding defensive play by Markakis.
So now 2 outs. And here's Donaldson. Coco now at third. Britton delivers, and the first pitch misses. Donaldson homered in the first, hit a fly ball to center field in the third, hit by a pitch in the 6th, struck out in the 8th. Cespedes would be next. And now 2-0. So close pitch. Donaldson with a good eye.
And really, if you're the Orioles, what do you do? First base open, second base open. Cespedes already tied it with a double. According to Larry Vanover, just off the plate outside. I'll tell you, Donaldson, though, likes those pitches outside to hit the right field. It's not like he's in a pull mode with every pitch.
And that one a bit high, and it's 3-0.
If he swung back in the third against Chin. And Britton doesn't have the changeup the Chin has. So you have to figure if he has the green light, which you'd figure he will, that it's going to be a fastball. He's disciplined enough to swing almost like Jed Lowry did.
3-0 pitch, and he does swing, and it looks like it was running in a little bit, but
fastball at 95 according to the board, but it had some movement. It wasn't a true four-seam fastball. And that release of the top hand, I think they the moment Lowry hit a home run on a 3-0 fastball in New York.
3-1 is outside. He walked in, so it's going to be up to Cespedes.
The type we have seen the A's hitters, and we've marveled at the fact that they're willing to take walks. And Donaldson could have been aggressive, overly aggressive, and try to swing at that pitch, even though it was a ball, and simply say, "I'll take first base." Cespedes, try to do it again. Because logically speaking, you're not going to hit pitches out of the strike zone very well anyway. Typically, you're not anyway.
So here is Cespedes. Cespedes with a big hit in the 8th inning. A 2-out RBI double that tied the game. Can he do it again? First pitch is a fastball outside, 97 miles an hour.
And again, Scope is trying to shade up the middle with Cespedes. Opening up the huge hole on the right side. Donaldson at first, so huge hole on the right side. Not that Cespedes is going to intentionally try to hit it there, but pitch him away, he would consider it.
So the count 1-0 to Cespedes, who is 1 for 4 with that double. Chased the breaking ball, and we have not seen a lot of those from Britton, but he just dropped one on Cespedes.
And it might have been to get him to finish with a pitch because he was leaving the fastballs outside. And a hard slider down and in would do that.
That one rolled foul. Ty Waller scoops it up. So that one away from Cespedes, and he rolled it foul. So now it's 1-2, and crowd here starting to make some noise. 28,076 is the crowd tonight here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Most of them dressed in orange. And we're seeing a good ball game tonight. 1-2. Like a curveball that stayed up and away.
You have to wonder if he's going to try to do what he did for the first strike, the 1-0 pitch down and in.
But you don't want to throw in the dirt if you're him either, right?
Great point. Great point. And that's the difference of Coco being at third.
2-2 pitch. And that's hit hard but foul. Mike Gallego watches it shoot by him. So good battle here with the game on the line between Zach Britton and Yoenis Cespedes.
Understanding but not cheering for the Orioles pitcher.
2-2 pitch, got him. So Britton strikes out Cespedes. The A's strand 2, and we're going to the bottom of the 10th. All tied at 3. box or listen to it on 95.7 The Game. It'll be Sonny Gray and Kevin Gausman, a couple of former #1 draft picks with the draft going on right now. Kevin Gausman was a 4th overall pick in 2012, so the Orioles have high hopes for him. Ray, he's still learning all about pro ball, but very talented young man. We'll see him tomorrow.
Well, Sonny Gray was highlighted last night as a young pitcher was drafted out of Vanderbilt, and they compared him to Sonny Gray. As a matter of fact, they were showing the same pictures of Sonny Gray, and this young man, of course, can't remember his name offhand, but
he should be happy that
compared to Sonny Gray and from Vanderbilt, he and David Price and others out of the great university. Now, Luke Gregerson, a great job, 2 innings, a couple of hits, but left the runners on base. So Fernando Abad, as he faces the top of the batting order, Markakis, Machado, Cruz. So not an easy task, but he's up for it as always.
Gregerson, 3 strikeouts in 2 innings.
Pat, I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah, all right.
Fernando Abad is 0-15. For a long time, he's had an 0 for, I think tonight's the night.
Right, he's 0-2 this year, but he's pitched well.
He gets through this inning.
Okay.
Top of the 3rd, top 3 of the batting order. You know, they play this game in thirds. But you get these top 3 hitters, and you got a chance because maybe tonight's the night for Fernando Abad. Came in the A's 0-13. Pitched well for the Athletics.
He has.
But he's due for a win. Let's see if he can help. He would love it. The A's would love it.
Abad facing the top of the Orioles order in the first pitch. He is a strike. Abad pitched on Wednesday against the Yankees. Just a 1/3 of an inning. Gave up a hit.
He throws a very good slider, which he just did to Markakis, but see what he backs it up with. Markakis probably sitting fastball after the first pitch slider. Got it.
And he hits it hard, but just fouled down the first base line. So now Abad ahead of the count, 0-2. Machado to follow, and then Nelson Cruz here in the bottom of the 10th. Pitch, fouled straight back. So maybe a little bit more of the plate than Abad wanted with an 0-2 count.
Guarding the lines, at least first base, not so much at 3rd. Donaldson off the line.
0-2 pitch. Foul territory. Donaldson hustling over, and it's into the seats.
See, that's a tarp catch in Oakland.
Yep. Climb up. So the count remains 0-2 to Markakis, who is 1 for 4. He had a single in the 7th inning. Hit hard, and that's a base hit. Right center field. So Markakis against a tough left-hander down in the count 0-2 gets a leadoff single.
That's 5 pitches that he threw. First pitch was a slider, which is a great one, and never came back with a slider again. And of course they have their scouting reports on these hitters, but Markakis a tough out, and he proved it against a tough lefty. Well, similar situation as last inning. This is not quite the same hitter as Machado's much different.
Yeah, if you don't bunt with Steve Pearce, then you can't imagine you'd bunt with Manny Machado. Machado 2 for 4 with a home run. Donaldson even with the bag at 3rd. Outfield deep, and Machado is bunting. What the heck is going on here, Ray?
I don't know, Glenn. And believe me, I don't know. And watch this attempt. Watch this.
That's all you need to see right there.
Yeah. You know, they always say you put hitters in situations where they can succeed. As Manny Machado bunted that much, and that attempt didn't show it. I mean, that was just trying to fool everybody.
This one's bunted, and this is a good one. Blanks picks it up. He throws, and they get Machado.
Well, now it's, I guess, walk Cruz and pitch to Jones. And there is a right-hander warming up for the Athletics. Is that Jim Johnson? But a good bunt on this fastball. And Blank's able to handle it with Bob getting out of the way.
So I'm still shaking my head, right?
Yeah, because
so you don't bunt with Pierce against Gregerson, but you do bunt with Machado against a left-hander.
Assuming he got the signs and didn't do it on his own, but it did mean that you have success. Cruz is not going to hit, so I guess they're looking at Jones and then Davis as possible guys to drive in the go-ahead run or the winning run. And does Johnson come in to face his former team? And does Abad stay in and go after Jones and then the tough lefty and Davis?
So Cruz will take one more and then head to first. So the walk is complete. That's the first walk issued by an ace pitcher in tonight's game. Bob Melvin trots out. It does not look like the walk of a pitching change. No. You've seen Bob go out there enough. You kind of know how he operates.
It's a defensive maneuver, I guess, if anything. I don't know if Marquez is a possibility to steal, and they would say if yes, then if Cruz tries to back him up, follow him up with a stolen base, maybe Norris is told to go to second base. I think the Orioles will stand pat and let this right-hander hit. Worst case, Davis behind him.
So Jones against Abad with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Adam Jones tonight is 0 for 4. 12 hits for the Orioles. They have stranded 6 through the first 9 innings. First pitch to Jones is a fastball a bit inside. That's a pretty good pitch by Abad.
Well, we've seen Fernando Abad with all the arms and legs and everything, and this one just off the plate. More of a fastball running in instead of one coming back.
Jones, right field, base hit. Here comes Marquez. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's there, and he is out.
Derek Norris okay. What a throw by Brandon Moss. Charged it perfectly. Of course, out. Is he going to check on this as far as the positioning, which they can do? Brandon Moss the throw. I think he's got to be checking safer out because Derek Norris caught the ball to his right, reached back and made the play to Marquez and got him there. He got him. Bam, right there before his hand hit the plate, and they're going to challenge it. Kind of has to look like, and now if they do this, it's about the tag. It's got to be because the positioning is fine. He's out there, and Derek Norris stayed on it, but he got him. It looked like in the armpit of the left arm, and the momentum carried Derek Norris. So they will check, and I cannot see where Derek Norris did anything against the so-called new rules as far as blocking the play without the ball, because he had to reach for it and then go back. We'll see.
So it should stand, the call of out at home plate, but we will keep our fingers crossed that that does indeed happen. We're showing it on the scoreboard here, and everybody's looking at it.
Launch the left armpit. He's got it all over it. And that's before. And fans are probably looking at Norris coming off. Yeah, they called him out because.
Well, the fans are looking at it the way they want to look.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
That's what happened.
And what Bob Melvin is trying to tell Blanks, play behind Jones. His run means nothing. He's at first base, and worst case, you know, you want to play back and have a defensive positioning.
So it's going to be Chris Davis. So the A's are not quite out of the woods yet here in the bottom of the 10th. As Cruz is now at third.
And meanwhile, what a great throw by Brandon.
Perfect. One hop right there.
Exactly. And not surprised that Markakis was sent. You have to try to do it. See if Jones takes off on the first pitch. Yes, he is.
And it's up and in to Chris Davis. So Jones goes to second base.
Up and in. Supposed to be down and away, but again, let's go back to Markakis. First pitch of the inning from Abad was a slider. He's thrown pretty much all fastballs ever since.
And that one not close, and it's 2-0. The on-deck hitter is J.J. Hardy.
Jim Johnson is loose. Hardy's next.
And Davis squibs one foul down the third base line.
What Chris Davis did against Tommy Malone, not the same with Abad. Abad throws considerably harder. Tommy Malone more on the corners and just have an elevator pitch. So if Davis hits one to left field, it's going to be not necessarily as intentional as it was against Tommy Malone. That was a 1-2 fastball that he just elevated too much.
Swing and a miss. That one was right by Davis.
And that's what you have to do. We saw him in Texas do that quite a bit. Stay away, throw it hard. Let him try to catch up. Couldn't do it.
Let's hope he doesn't lay down a good bunt.
We had an accidental swing hard, and yeah, to the third base side.
Cruz coming home. The throw is there, and they tag him out. Unbelievable. Nelson Cruz tries to steal home in the bottom of the 10th inning. Nobody was holding him on.
Yeah.
But Abad was calm. Yep. He threw it to the plate. He made a good throw, and Norris tagged him out.
What a great play. He came down the line. Norris said, "Give me the ball." He tagged him. And Chris Davis had no chance.
We could break this play down for 5 minutes, Will.
Now Bott is very calm as he's coming down. And if we get a center field shot, see if it's a strike, it's a moot point. It's strike 3, innings over. And look at Davis. Davis backs off. And Larry Vanover would have had to make a call. If he's safe, is it a strike? As it turned out, he's out because Abad was very calm. Norris got the ball, and Cruz, guys, you said it best. He could have walked down, kept walking, and then taken off.
Pitch was high.
A little bit high.
But the point is Cruz could have pulled it off.
Yeah.
If he would have taken the maximum lead.
Yeah.
And you saw where Donaldson was. Donaldson was over near second base. He could have went.
Oh, yeah.
At least halfway down and maybe even further.
And we've seen guys who have not attempted to steal but have gotten at least 45 feet off the back, which is halfway. And with a left-handed pitcher, you get somebody walking down, you take off.
Right.
He comes to a set position, and he takes more of a chance of balking than anything by hurriedly making the pitch to the plate. Meanwhile, 2 runners thrown out at the plate once again, as was the case last Saturday in the game Tommy Malone pitched.
And Jaso, the pinch hitter, the first pitch he sees, he rips into center field. He's going to try for 2. The throw is late, and he's in there. Jaso, 1 pitch, and he's got a double.
But he not only hit it hard, but he turned on the afterburners around the bag and took off. And maybe his momentum with that cut fastball, maybe the momentum knocked the ball out of the glove because he ran hard, slid hard into second base. Jones going to the slide. Strong, accurate throw in. Looked like it's going to be close. It was. And Hardy could not handle the ball. He had it in his glove. He applies the tag. Tag was late anyway, but the knee knocked the ball out of the glove. Trying to hold the tag. Man, there's a lot of excitement in this game. A lot of things going on.
So Jaso at second, nobody out, and Moss hits, and it's Evan Meek is the new pitcher. So Evan Meek 0-1 with a 6.94 ERA. A great opportunity for the A's. Moss, the hitter, and he swings and misses.
Well, Brandon Moss just has to get over the fact that it's a right-hander pitching now instead of all lefties, and that's all he's faced all night. And broken a couple of bats, got 1 hit on 1. Fielder's choice on the other. Right now, they're not employing the shift, playing straight up all the way.
And nasty slider there on 0-2, and he strikes out Moss. So Moss cannot move anybody along.
That's uncharacteristic of Brandon Moss to swing at a pitch that badly out of the strike zone. He knows it. His job is just try to pull the ball.
Well, the A's have now struck out 11 times tonight, and here's Callaspo. First pitch to Callaspo is hit towards short. Hardy has it, and he kicked it. It was about as routine as you could get, and he missed it. And Callaspo's aboard. Jaso to third.
And Hardy's had such a great night, both sides of the ball. Defensively has been airless. He made 3 last night, but every play he's made tonight, and this one as routine as it could be. You don't know if he peeked towards third, thinking he might have a chance to get Jaso. Jaso running. Does he peek?
I think he did.
Yep, I think he did. Looked like he might have looked up to see where Jaso was, and by doing that, took his eye off the ball and missed it. Now, blank's being called back, and
it's either Sogard or Vogt.
Yep, and I think Stephen Vogt came in from Oakland, and it will be Vogt.
So a mistake by the Orioles. And we'll see if Vogt can make it hurt.
Well, the first opportunity tonight for the A's with the runner in third, less than 2 outs, and Stephen Vogt, who came in for the bullpen, and talking about how it's better to be in the bullpen instead of sitting in the dugout. Of course, Casey Chavez is bullpen catcher. And since the A's now have 3 catchers, Jaso could stay on the bench. Vogt goes to the bullpen to warm up pitchers. And so he comes in, says he's nice and loose, and see if he can get it done. There's going to be a hole on the first base side between first and second.
So Meek from the stretch, and the first pitch to Vogt is a fastball right there for a strike. The last time Vogt pinch hit, it was a good one. He's doubled in the tying run in New York. And this one's hit down the right field line foul as Vogt hooked it. So the count is 0-2. Jaso at third, Callaspo at first, Punto in the on-deck circle. Just missed off the plate, not by much.
Trying to get back door with the slider, but it kind of faded away instead of breaking sharply in. Yeah, backed up, and Joseph doing a good job trying to bring it in the strike zone. Trying to get a ball airborne, trying to get a base hit, try to avoid a ground ball.
1-2 pitch, base hit left field, and the A's take the lead. Jaso scores. And it's 4-3 Athletics, and they've done it again.
Oh, Stephen Vogt, what a job he has done. Pulled the ball into right center against the hard-throwing Betances. Betances in New York this time stays back with a fastball, shoots at the left field. Reminiscent of the game winner, game 2 of the division series last year. And this time the huge hole, and there it is. And you know, you look at that, Jaso gets the third, Hardy gets the out, still a base hit, but you don't know what would have happened at that point.
Nope.
And,
different pitch, maybe.
Everything's different, but instead, Stephen Vogt, huge again. So the A's do come through with the hit with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs. And maybe the month of June will be good for them in that category because everything else has been great. That's been a little bit deficient. Tonight, no.
Punto fouls it back, so 1-1 the count.
So what's he make? 3-4 errors all year, and he's got 4 in 2 games. Hardy. Well, for him, the cost the Orioles last night contributed to their loss against the Rangers, and tonight should have been the second out of the inning, and hard-throwing Doolittle gets loose.
1-2 now to Nick Punto, who is 0 for 4. So Jaso started it with a double. Line drive, and that's going to be a double play. Callaspo gets caught off second base. But Stephen Vogt, another big hit. And this time it gives the A's the lead. It's 4-3 going to the bottom of the 11th.
13 hits for the Orioles, 1 error, and great defense by the Athletics tonight. Boy, what a night it has been defensively for the A's, and looked like started off in the first inning again. Gentry, a magnificent play, outrunning the baseball. Cespedes, how about a throw to second? Chris Davis trying to stretch a single into a double. Dick Punto stayed on it. None bigger, though, in the 10th inning. That was good for Cespedes, but how about this? Base hit to right field by Jones. Look at the throw by Brandon Moss. Perfect. Right on the money. Tagged by Derek Norris. Markakis is out, and then you added a topper. How about a topper? How about an attempted steal of home? This is a straight steal. Oh, we're not going to show it. Okay. Moss moves to first base. But, you know, it's rare to see an attempted steal of home. Now, you have to just see how cool and calm Abad was. Here comes Cruz, and there's the throw, and there's the tag, and he's out. So, as was the case in Tommy Malone's last start, 2 runners thrown out at the plate Saturday by Cespedes, and tonight, 1 by Moss, and the attempted steal of home plate by Abad and Norris. So that's a caught steal of 1-2, right?
Yes, it is. That is.
How about that?
So here's Davis. It'll be Davis, Hardy, and Pierce against Doolittle, whose first pitch is outside. Davis, of course, at the plate when Cruz was tagged out at home plate. Vogt is now in right. And Davis tries to hold up, can't do it. So Vogt stays in the game in right field. Moss comes into first base, and Jaso is behind the plate. So those are your changes for the A's. Fastball outside at 94 miles an hour. Davis with a home run back in the 4th inning. He also had a single in the 8th, 2 for 4. He rolls that one foul. So the count even 2-2. Doolittle kicks, 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging right by him with 95.
That's a heater. That's a fastball. And why would you do anything else? Throw him a first pitch slider, but just came back and threw nothing but fastballs. And Chris Davis, who had trouble catching up to Abad, never got a chance. He had a 2-2 count with runners at first and third. Make it second and third on the indifference, but an attempted steal by Nelson Cruz. Look on Buck Showalter's face. I don't think that was called by him.
Fastball first strike. Hardy single, double, ground out single. So he's had a good night at the plate. And now he's behind in the count 0-2. That one tapped slowly down the third base line, but it's going to stay foul. So Doolittle 2 outs away from a save. And a high fastball.
Check
and Hardy went around. Home plate umpire says you went around. And he did.
Yep, he did. Good call. Trying to avoid getting hit or trying to avoid something happening, but his bat followed through, even with his body, and tried to hold up and couldn't.
So back-to-back strikeouts here in the bottom of the 11th. So here is Steve Pierce. First pitch, strike at the knees. So Doolittle's doing nothing but just pumping strikes. Foul back, and now it's 0-2.
So that time Derek Norris raised his catcher's mitt, elevated enough in the fastball.
So Doolittle trying to set down Pierce. 0-2 pitch, and he does on 3 pitches, and Doolittle strikes out the side in the bottom of the 11th inning, and a wild night here in Baltimore ends. And the final score is the A's 4 and the Orioles 3 in 11 innings. So crazy night, a lot of crazy stuff happening, and as you should expect, the A's, when it's all said and done, win it in extra innings on the road. So your final score in Game 1 of this 3-game series from Baltimore, it's the Athletics 4 and it's the Orioles 3. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody, Biff, and Joe starts right now.